There's an LB on me, by the way.
Oh, I think I missed.
I'm gonna LB this because I'm fucking crazy.
Nice.
Okay,
Oh my
healer
God,
guy's
I
dead.
can't
We're in
believe I
trouble,
died.
yo. We're in trouble. Kill. Nice.
We're good, bro.
Now getting his burst off, trying to get that kill onto Alessandro, getting dangerously low. I'm not sure if Kieran is going to be able to keep him alive. And Angel's able to get that kill, putting Team Cactar in the lead.
Welcome everybody to MogTalk, episode 248. Today is Saturday, November 6, 2021. And if you haven't seen MogTalk before, it's a show based around a Final Fantasy XIV community discussing everything from Savage Raiding to Chocobo Racing to PvP going into the next expansion, which is what we're talking about today. Before we get any further, I want to go ahead and introduce the guests that we have on the show. And we're going to start with the only person who brought camera. Plus, could you tell everybody who you are?
Of the PvP community since like beginning of Heaven's Ward. That was, or rather that was like beginning of 2016 was when they first introduced the feast. And I've been involved in like a lot of the community events since then. Also the Feast Regional Championships, which was an incredible opportunity to shoutcast with you, Frosty.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Hopefully with this new PvP mode, we'll be able to do something like that again. But yeah, I've been I've been playing for a while.
Yeah. All of you guys have been. Mateo, could you tell everybody who you are?
Yeah. What's up? I'm Mateo. I've been playing on and off since 1.0. However, I didn't get my legacy accounts because, that's a long time ago and I don't ask for things that are past. But anyway, Yep. Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. Shots fired. Anyway, I'm in Otter. That's it. That's me.
Mateo is also he was at the Feast Regional Championship on stage, and he was battling against the top players out there. He did come away with a victory on there. He was actually battling against Suhr here. Suhr, tell everybody who you are.
I'm Suhr. I've been playing PvP since pre-season Feast Season 1, and I'm just excited to talk about Endwalker PvP.
And what else?
Went to the FRC, got second place. Mateo benched himself against me. He was scared, obviously.
Oh yeah, that's right. He didn't even play in the last.
What a coward! What a
He's
coward.
not even there. Like what? It's not audible.
Suhr is one of the top number one rank players out there because he's gotten it. How many times have you got rank 1, Suhr?
Gotten rank 1 8 times.
8 time.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude. So we brought on the best of the best here. The best in commentating. +1 here, the best players, Mateo and Suhr. I've been playing Feast ever since it was released basically, and it's been a weird few years for us PvP players. Not very active in terms of content and everything else, and so we're all looking forward to this live letter because this is the news, the time that we actually get stuff about the mode that we're doing, and we got some stuff, and that's why we're here to talk about it. I do want to make one small tangent note here. You might see that there is a total of raised amount at the top. Earlier this morning, we had the Creators Guild hosting their event on the channel, and they were raising money and taking donations and everything. And I told them that I'll just keep it going with MogTalk today. So we have it up there. If you want to donate, there's a link in the Twitch chat. You can just click on it and donate it. And so might as well just see if we can get a few more bucks just during the show anyways, while we sit here and talk shit about people who are too fucking scared to get on camera. Who went on stage? Who went on stage and like completely public information out there, right? You went on stage and you fought against each other with thousands of people watching you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They even have Discord emotes with their faces on it.
They do.
Everyone knows what they look like. Yeah, it's like
So, not even hiding anything. I don't have
Honestly,
a camera.
we have some.
Honestly,
We have
plus
some
one
shy
camera
boys
just looks
here.
too good. It's not even worth trying to be on the same camera.
You
Exactly.
didn't even know what
I
it
mean-
looked like until today. Until like what 10 minutes ago.
I had a feeling, man. I just had a feeling.
You didn't want to have to compete, dude. All right, sorry.
His mic sounds too good. His camera's too good.
I don't know what I just
I got
did
the
to the
best-
screen.
I got the best hat though. Like actually, like don't even. My hat's like no competition, dude.
Hold on. Sorry, I completely messed up the screen and I don't know how I did it. Give me a second. Did I fix it? I think it's good now. I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix Suhr's name because I realized how goofy I made it.
What are these questions?
Hold on. I got it. I don't know what I did. There we go. I fixed it, guys. We're good.
Some picture-in-picture stuff going
Yeah, it
on.
was a picture. I don't know what the fuck I did. Anyways, I'm good now. I'm not going to worry about it. Sure, it's a little bit off. I don't care if his name's a little bit off. It matches. So today there's a lot to talk about, right? I want to focus on. We can talk about the previous shit where we didn't have information for years and, you know, all that stuff. But fuck that. We're just going to go on the thing that happened yesterday, the information we have going forward, and just go with that. Because we've already had shows discussing the delay of information and highlighting that and getting all into it. I will say there was a fucking huge delay in getting the PvP information out of this live letter because there's an hour and a half where 3 bits of information was released, right? I just kind of sat there and I was like, do I mean, I understand the delay thing. What do you guys think about the delay? Like two weeks delay on the expansion.
I don't think it's an issue at all.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
Don't give a fuck.
I think most raiders that are planning to prog actually prefer it because it means that they don't have to prog during like Christmas week.
Yeah.
So in some ways, I think it's actually a good thing. But it kind of sucks for people who called off work.
Mm-hmm. It does, and I completely get it. That really fucking sucks. And there's some people who can't really reschedule it, and they just have no means to handle it, and that does suck a lot. And that is the biggest downfall of it. Outside of that, though, it's fine. I can wait 2 more weeks. I think it lines up with everyone's schedule just that much more. Because for me, doing the world race is going to be after Christmas now and after New Year's, so I don't have to really worry about the holiday stuff that will kind of intertwine before it or after it. And then it's not happening before Thanksgiving anymore. It's happening after Thanksgiving, so there's plenty of time of cushion to really play the game and not worry about holidays getting mixed in there. So wonderful for me. I love it. But I think there was a lot of people. I think the only people who were upset were the people for vacation. Everyone else was understanding. There's no other gaming community. They'd be like, oh, 2 weeks, that's all right. You know, no one else would be like that. They'd be like, oh, what fucking losers.
I mean, 2 weeks isn't bad compared to some other games, right? Where it's like months or years delayed, just constantly back after back. So it's, I mean, 2 weeks to me, like it's all good, you know.
Especially with delays in this game being like sort of unprecedented, like people are more understanding for the very 1st time.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're apologetic, like, and they show that they're genuinely upset. Like, you know, you could always make the cynic and horrible, you know, stance of, oh, Yoshida's crying on stream, it's all fake and everything. But I don't think it's fake. I think he's pretty upset. Because he's known for success and putting out good product and doing a good job. And every time that he does something that looks like he's not doing a good job, I'm sure he's upset about it because he doesn't want that to happen, right?
Definitely.
Did you know shaking Yoshida's hand is like really difficult?
Is it?
Yeah. He's got like 800 rings on his hand.
I thought you had something legitimate there, and I was like, God damn it.
What do you mean? Anyway,
Anyways,
it was surprising, right? Like the actual delay, like when they
Yeah.
did not reveal the trailer at the start. It
yeah.
was kind of like, okay, thumbs up. But 2 weeks is.
I knew exactly what was happening when I knew what was. I didn't know what the delay was, but I knew there was going to be a delay because that's literally the only thing that they would do that for. But besides that, they went in and there is an hour and a half of information. I think there's one where they showed walking. The NPCs will walk with you during the story or something, and I'm like, all right, cool, you know. Then there's one other. I can't even remember what the other piece of information that was actually new information I saw before the raid stuff. I like the raid stuff. The raid stuff looks pretty sweet. I know some of you actually do some raiding.
All those
raid looked
NPCs
awesome.
they showed, like I don't.
The main story characters where they're like,
Yeah,
yes,
who are those? I'm kidding. I'm a cutscene skipper for a little bit, but I'll be watching.
Yeah, no, dude,
Yeah,
I don't even know
probably.
what the. It was a little bit nerve wracking for me because I was ready. This was a huge day for me to get more PvP information and finally figure out what was happening. I know for all of us, right? We're all looking forward to this live letter because we've been just put on hold for like a year. It felt like for any kind of information at all, and then we finally get it, and then we get Crystal Conflict. So let me do this. I do have the live stream kind of in the corner here, so I can show the map of it. It's gonna have a little pause symbol in front of it, I guess. Whatever. But what do you guys think about Crystal Conflict from just in general? What we heard about it?
I mean, first of all, I think you got the name wrong.
Okay.
Right, plus he's got the name wrong. It's Crystal Capture. So
Crystal Capture.
Crystal
Okay.
Capture.
Crystal Capture, bro.
All right.
I'm just kidding. That's literally. I was talking to Plus last night. And he's like, "What's the name, bro? Crystal Capture," and we just went with that for a good like couple hours. It sounds better.
You know what?
Yeah.
It does sound better. It
I
does
think
sound
so.
better.
Yeah, it kind of rolls off the tongue a bit more, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'll be honest with you, when they first of all, right off the bat, I was blown away that they actually had, it was like 50 minutes long, just this PvP segment. Like that's crazy.
That's 40 more minutes than I thought they were gonna do.
Yeah. So that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
My first impression of the mode was like, this looks really weird. But then as they kind of talked about it more and they explained their reasoning behind doing it this way, and also of course the rewards and everything, which of course we're going to get into.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty excited for it. I think Suhr is also Suhr is probably the most excited about it, so I'm really curious to hear what he has to say.
Honestly, like us as PvPers, we all go into any sort of live letter or any sort of information announcement like completely cynical. It's just how it's been the last 4 years with us. And I really have nothing bad to say from what they talked about last night. Like I think it looks really cool. Really.
Yeah. Okay. Mateo,
Sleeper, dude.
what the fuck you say?
Nothing. You know what? My thoughts coincide with all of you guys. It was really interesting because we were like, all right, well, if they show one slide, that's progress. That's amazing.
Dude, look at this new emote that I got here. I see you guys over there.
What you got? Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh, I like that.
That's pretty
Let me
good.
actually hit you with that Prime sub real quick.
Oh, you give me that prime sub so you get the awake.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I got one for you too. Sir, look at that shit.
What
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
That's cute.
Oh man. So yeah, no, dude. Like, I'm pretty fucking hyped for it just because it's something new. That's literally it.
Yeah.
That it's nothing besides something fresh, something else that we get to do besides literally the exact same map that we've had for 3 years. 3 to 4 years. I don't know, how long has it been?
It's been
It's gonna be 4 years soon.
Holy
of
fuck.
of just the Crystal Tower.
Just the Crystal Tower.
Are we including the
Yeah,
circle
it
map
is.
iteration? Oh, sorry, what?
No, excluding the circle map, it's about to be 4 years.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the FRC is almost. It's over. Well, it's
3
almost
years.
3.5 years ago.
Yeah, 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
For
is your Twitch channel actually
North
plus
American.
1 now? Plus?
It is actually +1. Yeah,
God
I was able to
damn
get
it.
it.
God damn it. Hold on. I
So
gotta
good,
change
man.
that, dude. I have to. You guys are gonna hear all the little window sounds from this stuff too, and I'm sorry, but I gotta fix this for Plus here. He came on the
Thank you.
show. I owe him at least that.
Got the cam. Only person with a cam today.
Yeah, literally the only person who brought camera today. That's all right. I really wanted to do it, but I couldn't figure it out with the little time I had. Was to get at least Mateo's otter with the little South Park Canadian mouth opening up.
What?
Just doing it where it's just, oh god, I was ready for it, dude. I was, ooh, but I just didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Good
I just
bitch.
couldn't
You
figure it
won't.
out. What?
What?
What? I'll
What the
go,
dog
man.
do?
You know what? I'll spend the rest of the show going figuring out how to do it. Oh god, it's gonna be so much work to change your name on here. Plus, but you know what? While I'm doing it, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna ask you the first thing. Why
Okay.
don't you like the name Crystal Conflict? I just want to know why, like, that is a bad name versus just Crystal Capture.
We were honestly kind of just memeing. I think Crystal Conflict's fine. Just for whatever reason, Crystal Capture was just what stuck in my head after they explained it.
Okay.
So it just felt, because you're like capturing the crystal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I guess to talk more about the mode and the objective. I wasn't expecting it. I think it's interesting though, because they clearly took some inspiration from other games.
I mean, what were you
look at, like-
expecting? I mean, that's a good question.
I had no idea what I was expecting. Like they talked about Fortnite, they talked about Splatoon. Honestly, I thought you were gonna spawn in this massive like open zone with no jobstone. You had to go scour the battleground to find a jobstone, find your weapon, find your armor. You would like pick up like a multi-seater chocobo for like you and the boys. You know what I mean? Like a full-on battle royale, Final Fantasy 14 style.
You're fucking crazy, dude.
I was just, I thought at this point anything's possible, right? Because what they were saying in like the interviews and everything leading up to this, it was impossible to tell what they were going to do. I think what they actually introduced though, it's probably way better than anything I was possibly expecting though. Like I said though, definitely inspired by some other games. You look at like Overwatch 2, you look at the push mode. It's almost identical. But
Yeah.
I think it's interesting, and it does make me wonder what exactly the gameplay will be like, because they didn't say. Obviously, you have to push the crystal from mid to one of the bases, but I'm not sure if that means that you have to occupy like a perimeter around the crystal to claim it for your team, which means that you have to, wipe out the enemy team so that you can claim it, and then it pushes as the other team is, respawning and then getting back to that point. I do wonder how exactly that mechanic is going to work. Like is the mode still going to be focused around kills, or is it going to be focused more around some other sort of objective which unlocks the crystal to move?
I mean, I'm pretty sure we're not moving crystals at all. There's you're capturing crystals that create a line and connects to the next crystal, and you have to move with it or something like that. The color that it captures or whatever, and go to the next point on it. So if we look at this, and I'm just going to let it take over the whole screen here. Go up. So there's like 5 circles, the play things in there, right? I mean, you have your base.
Right.
on each side, and then in front of that is like the first crystal next to where your base is or something. And so what I'm assuming is it's going to start exactly like this with the red and the blue. I don't think the crystal moves, man. I can't even imagine the crystal move. Maybe it does.
I think they said that it does actually move. Yeah,
It did. Yep.
Yeah,
I do wonder though
Mistranslation.
what Suhr's interpretation of this is. Like how do you think the game mode's actually going to play out?
well, the first thing I thought when I saw this was like it's just like a Team Fortress 2 map, just like a control point map on Team Fortress 2. So you need to like capture each of those points in like sequential order to then like move the crystal into the enemy base and then capture their base. So I mean, I just like what you guys think. I think you're gonna fight over mid to gain control of the crystal, and then whoever has control of it is gonna start pushing it into the enemy base along that colored line, and then you get that first base area, and then you keep pushing, and then you try and get into the enemy like home base, and then when you do that, you win. And I'm guessing whatever the time limit is on this, whatever team has more of an advantage at the end of the map, if they can't push it into the enemy base, then that team wins.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's too complex.
I think if people can't understand that, then I don't know how to log the game.
No.
Like, really.
Too complex
I
as in
actually
like
think-
for the Final Fantasy system to work with that. I think it's too complex for them
Oh,
to
okay.
get the system to work in that way where the crystal's moving and it's highlighting the way they... I mean, I'm sure they could figure it out, but it seems like a lot for them to figure out for PvP, right?
Yeah.
I feel more like... Because there are these little circle points, right? And so the points are probably... the little circles is kind of where you want the... Like maybe the crystal moves to those points, and then once you hit it, it highlights the road for you, and you can go forward to the next point or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
that's actually
It might
probably
be
exactly
that-
how it works.
The other thing it might do as well is because there's like 3 checkpoints, I believe. Or I guess, well, including the center one. Maybe after you secure that checkpoint, like the crystal will teleport to the next one, if that makes sense.
thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe. All right, let's just talk about the concept, though, of, like, I guess, the pushing... Because what did you get? I thought it was going to be a capture the flag. I'm going to be honest. Capture the flag 8v8. That's what I thought it was. I thought there was no way it was not going to be capture the flag 8v8.
Yeah.
I have no... I don't know why it didn't make sense to me why they... You know what didn't make sense to me? The 5v5 thing.
Really?
5v5 is a little weird.
I actually that's been in my head for like the entire time. The reason why I was thinking 5v5 is because initially I thought Arena's gonna come back in some way, shape, or form, and they're gonna separate the casters from the physical ranged. I was like, okay, 5v5, and that stuck in my head throughout. The other
That
thing
doesn't
stuck in my
matter,
head-
though.
I know, but that was something that was like in my head, 5v5. Aside from what I mentioned, but the other thing that kind of stuck in my head was like people die if they're killed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's also in my head, yeah.
So you mean like they don't get the res? Is that what you're saying?
No. People die if they're killed, yeah.
I don't get this. I understand what you're saying, but I don't understand the significance in what you're saying.
I'm just memeing you, man.
Okay, thank you. What, like, this is so, all right, 5v5. All right, what's the balancing? Why 5v5? Why not 4v4? Why not 8v8? What makes 5v5 special?
I think this is actually the only piece of content in the game that's not centered around a multiple of 4.
Yeah, it is. Like, I don't...
It's very strange. But potentially promising as well.
What's promising about it?
Because it does definitely say that they will be doing away with any sort of role-based gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, as they said, there's not necessarily going to be tanks, healers, melee ranged. Essentially, from what I took from this, and also combined with some of the information they said in previous interviews, because they actually said some information in prior interviews that they did not talk about today. But I think it does all kind of play into this, which is that I have a feeling that all the jobs are essentially just going to be like their own individual concept. So instead of like having all the tanks designed around this concept of a tank role, like warriors is just going to play like an individual, completely separate class from like everything else. So like warriors not necessarily going to be like an alternative version of Dark Knight. It's just going to be its own individual concept, which I think could be really, really cool because it allows them to kind of think outside the box when they are designing the gameplay. We have no idea what the gameplay is actually going to look like though, other than what they said about each job having their own individual adrenaline rush ability or like limit break style ability.
The limit break announcement was really cool, I thought.
Yeah.
Them saying each job now has like its own like unique, basically like an Overwatch like ultimate ability.
Exactly.
You're right.
Every job has
Actually.
like their own ultimate ability now, instead of just like melee has raw destruction and tanks have tank LB. I think that's really cool. They can do some really, really interesting stuff with that. Like warrior, for instance, can like literally just have like a damage spell now as their limit break, as opposed to like a defensive one.
That is actually kind of interesting, but what does that mean for like the attacks and like the outside of limit breaks? What's making them unique? It's just like I do damage, I have the 1, 2, 3, and I do damage with it, or like what would that even look like?
They kind of talked briefly about Dragoon, for example. I feel like they always talk about Dragoon and its identity, right?
Yeah.
Like when we were transferring into Stormblood, they showcased Dragoon. So they said the jumps, right? That's the identity of Dragoon. Therefore, I feel like they're really like this class identity, job identity kind of pitch. So we might see some of that going forward. I'm not just speculating, right?
Well, what if we all have like 5 abilities, right, and then a limit break?
I think that's entirely possible here. Because with this, I think with this game mode and also with everything that they've said leading up to this, I do think the focus will be more on the game mode itself rather than the individual job combat system. So I feel like we could easily see like 5 or 6 button PvP, even less than we had at the start of Stormblood. But the interesting thing that they also said was that apparently this new combat system, at least initially, will be first made available for crystal capture, and eventually
Conflict,
they might bring this to the other modes. So like Frontlines and Rival Wings, for example, will not have the same combat system as crystal capture,
right?
Which does seem a little bit strange.
Are you doing that intentionally? Crystal capture instead of crystal conflict?
Oh, I'm not doing it intentionally, I swear. What is it?
Just the conflict.
Crystal. I'm just saying, like crystal capture, it just flows off the tongue, man. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
CC.
Crystal conflict.
Let's call it Feast 2.
Feast
It's
2.0.
CC, dude. It's CC.
CC, man.
We'll call it the
squared.
banquet.
The snack.
The snack. The
Platoon
buffet.
4.
I don't know.
You know what's so funny? When Yoshida told me, it'll be kind of the same size of Feast, maybe a little bit larger, I was like, all right, 8v8. And then like he literally meant maybe a little larger. I was just like, God damn it.
Brunch.
The brunch. That's a good one.
Sport, bro.
So I mean, like, we're looking at the situation now to where this is going to, and just to make sure, it is planned to bring this over to Frontlines and everything else, But right
Yes.
now, they're like putting this in its bubble for Crystal Conflict.
Right.
And I think it's interesting because now that I'm starting to relate this to Overwatch because of what you mentioned. And so I'm thinking, okay, a warrior could have like this wall they put up, or they could have this one thing they put up, and they could have all these like abilities that they do that's just like map related and like pushbacks. Like golf, maybe is going to be like a huge thing, right? Maybe you can knock people off the map. Who knows?
or you knock them into the environmental explosions like on that volcano map.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or you like home gang them into it.
So this is going to be super gimmicky, is what I'm seeing.
I think 100%. They're. But what I do wonder is like, is it going to be one of those things where new players are just going to get like blown up because they don't know like the timing of like when the volcano erupts or something?
New players are always going to be fucked. It doesn't matter how casual they make the mode. Seasoned players will know what to do and beat the hell out of them.
What actually might be interesting is if it's just like random occurrences. So it says like, so there's just a random 5-second countdown of like when the volcano or whatever is going to explode. So you have to like, everyone has to suddenly evacuate the area or else they'll die. I don't know. Like some stuff like that could be kind of interesting. It would definitely make it more dynamic.
Yeah.
I think like speaking on this new mode, I think a lot of like dedicated PvPers are really hoping that this mode would be very light or just completely absent on stupid gimmicks. And that's not to say the gimmicks don't exist, like with the Bomberman explosions, but I think they're minimal enough to not be like a huge issue, like fucking Rival Wings. But they're still present to at least give you like a different experience for each of the maps. And that's one thing I really like is that they came out and showed us there's like 3 or 4 maps launching with this thing, which honestly blew me away considering like we've been playing the same Feast map for 4 years now.
They heard us, right? They just weren't doing shit for Feast. They're like, more maps. That's a good idea. I'm going to put forth some new content. Fuck Feast. It's dead. It's, you know.
I mean,
Ross,
launching with multiple maps and then also launching with like a ranked mode and a casual mode and custom matches, like all right at the start. That was like honestly shocking considering just how like cynical PvPers are and how like we're just used to not getting anything. Like that really blew me away that they are launching with all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it does look like this is going to be a mode that doesn't focus on your ability to do your rotations and blow people up as much. Like do the timings and the countdowns and all that stuff might not be as vital anymore. I mean, maybe it'll come back, but it's not going to be the same that we're used to with what we're thinking with MMO PvP, where the better player, that's like a stronger player that presses his buttons right and does his attacks and his combos and everything right, gets the kill. So this is going to be just different. I mean, would you guys be happy with that or sad that we're losing that kind of like MMO style PvP that we've kind of come to expect?
I'll tell you what I envelop. I mean, what I double envelop. I'm sorry. I mean, what I envision. Sorry about that.
No,
I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Inside jokes, guys. No one knows about it.
I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I've played enough Overwatch to kind of get like a good vibe, good feel of capture points, right? Like it can be really, really, really intense. Like if everyone's standing on it and you're duking it out, and it can be really, you can have a lot of agency. You can have a lot of personal agency, so to speak, and you can have a lot of team agency as well. The way you synergize with your group, and if you see certain openings and certain windows, like let's say right now, like Feast is all about, taking advantage of those burst windows and taking advantage of those mistakes. I'm not sure if it will focus on that as much, right? But I would like to see some sort of outplay potential. I would like to see a depth. That's just how I envision it. Is I would like to see some sort of okay, like if this guy used this ability, I can use this ability, but not as much tic-tac-toe as it is now, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of that where personal agency is valued would go a long way, I think. Outside of teleporting or pushing the crystal or whatever we're doing.
Yeah. By the way, Plus, I think I had your Twitch name correct. It was +1 on there, but it pops up for a second. It pops up for a second. I'm not capitalizing the ONE, but it's fine. Sorry, tangent there. But yeah, no, all right. So as long as you feel like there's an ability for there to be skill, and the better player can win, is what you mean, Mateo, right?
That's exactly what I mean. It doesn't necessarily have to be. I actually don't think it should be single player dependent. The biggest worry, from what I heard from a couple of my friends and fellow players, is that currently, like in solo queue, you can get a team of lemons, unfortunately. so there's a greater chance of that happening with 5 players. So I think working as a team is very important, but also having personal agencies.
Well, I mean,
like this important.
Yeah, the thing is, like, if you're the best player, the more people you add to your team, the worse team you'll have, right?
Right.
It's just what it is. But the other team could have a bad team too. It's just, it is what it is. I don't think there's any way to fix that. They didn't say, by the way, did they, anything about solo queue or team queue for this?
The only thing they said was customs.
Yeah. Custom, casual, and ranked.
Yeah. I will say I am happy that they'll be coming out with a custom mode, presumably right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Feast, which took a while for them to kind of develop. I assume it'll probably be really similar to the customs we have now.
I hope.
Like same layout and everything. I mean, hopefully they did. Hopefully they do improve it to an extent where it kind of shows some more information other than just 2 additional actions and like the LB.
I hope that they have spectator mode. They didn't say anything about it. Plus, they didn't say anything about spectator.
The
mode.
thing is, I interpret customs as spectator mode.
I don't know.
Personally.
I don't know, too.
Because if you think about it, right, like they're probably just going to port over the existing system with like the party finder and how you have like the 3 parties,
I hope so.
With like the spectator group part of it. Yeah, I'm like 90% certain it'll have spectator mode alongside that release, which I think would be really cool. I will say though, just to talk about that real quick, I do think for like tournaments or community events or broadcasts, or if we do final days of Crystal, what is it again?
Beginning is the first days,
Crystal Capture, right?
Yeah, Crystal Capture.
Crystal Capture. I do think this game mode will be a lot more interesting to watch. And I think it'll be a lot easier for new players to like watch or spectate and kind of know what's going on. Because the Feast was always actually a very hard game mode to understand. Yep. It wasn't just like last man standing. It wasn't just about getting kills. I remember in like some of the tournaments, people would get super excited when like the losing team got a kill, but then they're like, wait a minute, they're still not in the lead because that guy only dropped like 12 medals and they needed 25 medals. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they could see something that visually means victory or loss on the screen, and it makes sense. They're like, the crystal is closer. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, I'm on board with that. I think that's going to be a huge improvement to the viewership situation of that.
Yes.
The kind of the big issue that I think we're going to face is unless if we get the numbers, I don't think much is going to change with ranking or anything else. Casual, we did have casual mode with Feast before. I mean, training, whatever, but we had 8v8. That was your casual mode, Feast. And then, they kind of limit us down to the training mode and ranked. And everybody just did ranked. because training mode is something you have to like ask people and beg people to queue up for. But you know, I don't know. I think the battle pass is what's going to keep people active in some way.
Yeah.
People who are too scared. I don't want to say people who are too scared. People who don't want to be in a competitive environment that's high intensity won't do ranked, and they'll do other stuff, right?
What's your Twitter, Frosty?
It's X banana juice Y or something like that.
Cancel Frosty. Okay, we're good. Thank you.
Okay. You know, they're just like scared people with webcams, you know? But
Oh
the
my
thing...
Wow.
The thing is, I'm glad that there's actually going to be all these extra modes. I'm just hoping the activity's there for this. And I think the Battle Pass is their way of saying, hey, there's going to be activity there.
I think
The
there'll
only
be
thing...
activity for all the modes.
Yeah, do you think there's going to be activity for all the modes?
I think so. I mean, the battle pass thing is a solution to one of the big issues with PvP, and that's that there's no real long-term reason to play front lines and rival wings. I mean, rival wings is fucking dead 90% of the year, except for during like a Google event. Like there's no reason to ever play rival wings. So I think the battle pass being there will let people, you know, be encouraged to play all the PvP modes. I'm just concerned that people are going to find the most efficient way to farm their star stickers or whatever you're going to get from it, and they're just going to do that. And if that comes down to just queuing for front lines only, then people are going to queue for front lines and people won't play rival wings. So
Yeah.
we'll see, but I think it's a good change. It gives you know, progression rewards for people to play PvP, and since it's going to be like rotating rewards for each series, you know, there's a long-term carrot on a stick for people to work towards in all modes of PvP and not just Feast anymore.
Yeah. I do agree that I think people are going to find the easiest way to kind of farm that up, and they're just going to focus on that, and that's all they're going to do. They're probably going to find the easiest job to play as well, and we're just going to see all the same job probably too. Or not everyone on that exact same job. I can't imagine this being even close to balanced, by the way, when it comes out. Not even remotely close.
Man, what would you rather do? Would you rather go to a pub crawl? Would you rather go on a pub crawl, or would you rather go to the same bar like every single night? You know what I'm saying?
No,
come on, dude.
I got you, dude.
Mix it
That's
up.
how I am. I want to see all the different modes. I think it's going to be pretty cool to like get, you know, a handful of friends, like 8 friends, and be like, hey, tonight we're just going to be farming up our battle pass together, and they're just going out there and just doing whatever to farm it up and have fun. That sounds like a lot of fun to me. As well as, you know, queuing up for your ranked mode or whatever and just getting it because you're trying to double up on your rank. And I think that's why people might do this new Crystal Conflict, to get their battle pass points up, because you also rank up in that and get your season stuff from that too, right? So it's kind of offering double rewards. But people who don't really want to, you know, get the season stuff or whatever, they'll go back to whatever they need to farm up their bits in front line. I don't know. It makes sense, I guess.
I'm actually kind of curious. Go ahead, bro.
You first, because it might be a while.
Okay. I was just gonna say that there might. I'm just gonna assume, right? They might have a sort of contingency in place, whereas you know, you can only play front lines up to this star level, and then you can play rival wings, you know, up to this battle pass level kind of thing. Like you get diminishing returns if you keep queuing the same mode, something like that. They might have contingencies like that just to combat the monotony, right? But it's a bit complex. I'm not sure if they will, but yeah.
Or daily bonus, battle pass bonus, right?
There we go.
I have a feeling they will make Crystal Conflict the most rewarding, or like they're gonna have it give probably the most EXP for the series or whatever to level up in.
It's going to be
just
the most efficient way
people
to do
play it. Exactly, 100%.
Shorter matches.
Yeah.
But also, it's going to be the most competitive mode. Even though they're saying it's casual, just the presence of a ranked mode means that it's going to be competitive. And
Yeah.
if you're gonna play in the ranked mode, you got to be prepared to go in there to win, and not just go in there and be lackadaisical saying, "I'm just farming my battle pass. I don't care."
Here's the
Mhm.
thing. I think what's going to happen is the casual or unranked mode is going to be what people do to get as much as they can for their battle pass stuff, but that's not going to give them their season rewards. And after a while of doing the casual mode, they're going to be like, okay, I think I got this, right? And then they want to try out ranked to get their season rewards as well, and they'll be making that transfer over. So I think there's going to be this good cushion on this casual unranked mode that's going to allow them to get into the ranked mode. So I think there is a stepping stool or stepping ladder here that we're doing that's actually going to make people play this mode and get into ranked.
That's ideal.
I do wonder what the differences on the rewards will be, because there was some kind of confusing slide they showed at the end, kind of illustrating how a crystal conflict season may be off sync with the series, or with the series that's going on, and how there could potentially be like 2 crystal conflict seasons happening during a single series, which I think that's what they were depicting. It was a really kind of strange slide, but if that's the case, I do wonder how different the rewards are going to be, because when I first heard about it, I thought maybe the kind of like how WoW does it, where the higher rated, the gear that you need a higher rating to obtain is just kind of a recolored, a reskinned version of the gear that like you can obtain without a rating, if that makes sense. So I thought maybe like the series rewards would just be, or rather the rated rewards, the ranked rewards will just be a recolored, reskinned version of what we'd see in the series. But it seems like that won't actually be the case, just based on that one slide. I'm not sure. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
There's going to be series rewards, right? And these are going to be kind of just your battle pass rewards and everything else. And it's not going to sync up. They're going to be different things, I think, from the season rewards overall. And then, like, I don't know, maybe it will be a different color or something, and maybe it will be similar to that. But for some reason, I feel more like they're going to do, like, glamour on one side and mount on the other side or something like that.
Yeah.
Or something similar to that. Like, they're going to make all the actual glamour rewards be on the series and all the mount rewards be on the season or something like that. I don't know. Because that way they could put more of the armor. Probably takes a little bit more work than a mount, I think. I don't know, maybe it doesn't. To make all the different sets and everything. So they'd probably make that accessible to everyone, and then have the mounts be like the big thing that you show off for being really good at the season.
I do remember during the translation, the lady saying that like they're not going to be confined to just like starting and ending seasons on like major patches and half patches like it is with Feast. And so, I mean, this picture we're looking at here, I mean, it says conceptual diagram at the bottom. So it's probably just saying they have the option of having a season run the entire time a series is running, or they can do multiple, Crystal Conflict rank seasons in the same time as like one series is occurring. So they have the options to, change it around and adjust it if, a season is too long, they find out, or if it's too short, they need to do another one. There's option. Because with Feast, I mean, with the COVID delay, for instance, we had like a fucking like half a year long season, and just like no one wanted to play at the end. Everyone was so burned out. No one wanted to play. So they probably want to avoid stuff like that, where they're saying, okay, this is going a little longer and our next patch is going to come out in a while. We can end the season right now and then start a new one. We have the option to do it.
Yeah. One thing I was actually impressed about when this was at like the very start of this PvP segment of the live letter, was they said they were very conscious about how releasing new PvP content during, for example, the same patch as like a Savage tier greatly reduces the participation in that new PvP content. So in the past, there were some situations where like a season started when like Heaven on High began, or when like an ultimate dropped or something, and it just killed the participation during that season. So I am glad that they are being more thoughtful about when they want to either implement the new PvP, which because that is the reason that is one of the reasons why they settled on 6.1 rather than like 6.05 or
I mean, who expected it to be anything besides 6.1, right?
I think it could have been 6.05, but I mean,
not during Savage.
they have had some unfortunate timing decisions in the past when it came to the feast. So yeah. I'm just glad that they are trying to be more careful about that going forward.
Remember when Stormblood came out? And everybody was PvPing to level up.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that
main story.
Raban, yeah.
Yeah.
Playing Shatter.
I do think that like this whole new PvP system and the series and the Crystal Conflict and everything, and having potentially multiple seasons within a series and like all this stuff could actually be really good for participation, because they're gonna have multiple things. Like they can really use the new PvP system now effectively as like filler content in between these new major patches for players who maybe don't necessarily play PvP a lot, you know, but now they see, oh wow, there's a new series starting. I don't really have anything else in the game to do right now, so I'm going to go PvP.
Yeah.
And they can create multiple situations of that now, which I think is actually really good. Particularly if we're talking about players who don't usually PvP as much as, you know, you, me, Mateo, or Suhr.
Definitely. Yeah. Because for us, we've never had content drought. Like us as players. We've always had the Feast to play in, and Feast for us is active the entire time. We can always usually get a game. But for people that don't actively PvP and keep up with it, when they hit content droughts and they might want to try and dip their toes into Feast, usually they're out of the active queue range and they just can't play. And so this now gives people like a foundational fallback, you know, system where if there's content drought, you're done with your raid, you're done leveling, you can play PvP and you can now work towards something almost all the time. Because
exactly.
You know, series rewards are going to get rotated out. They'll get put into a shop that you can get previous ones if you missed them. You can constantly be working to something, you know, to get something in PvP now, which has been one of the biggest flaws with it right now, is that once you got your reward from PvP, you never had a reason to go back to it. I never want to go back into Rival Wings. I got my monkey mount. I never want to go back.
Yeah. I think fallback content is a really good term for this. 100%.
Fallback. Yeah, you know what?
Fallback content, you know?
This is going to be the content that people will want it. I mean, what do you do, though, when you hit, like, your max battle pass amount, right? Do you just stop? You're like, hey, whatever, I'm done?
You have ranked?
You have ranked, yeah.
I guess, You
have previous series rewards to work towards, too.
Oh, that is, that is actually a really big thing. Yeah. One thing, like, whenever I talk to a player who doesn't usually PvP, the one consistent thing that everybody says is either I wish I got it is either I wish I got into it sooner, or I wish I played that season. So I think now the fact that they did announce, as Suhr said, that previous series rewards, not seasons, previous series rewards will be available at a later time for you to get in the future in case you missed that series. I think that's awesome, because then they're going to create like a whole backlog of rewards for, as you said, even if people already got their rewards for that series, they can continue to work for rewards of a previous series.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome.
And people who start late won't feel bad now for starting late, because they're going to have access to the stuff that came out previously, which is
100%.
an issue with Feast. You know, people who finally take the dive into Feast and they end up really enjoying it, they're like, man, why didn't I do this sooner? And damn it, now I can't get the Hellhound armor, which I really want.
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, they're going to be able to get the season rewards from what we know of so far, right? So season rewards will still pass.
Hopefully the Feast stuff still stays exclusive. I mean, let's not get it.
Let's not get crazy. I like my only 1 in 600 people mount, right? So there's a lot of stuff out there that I feel. I don't know. I really don't care if they. I'm gonna be honest with you. They recolor the mounts and they give them out. I don't care. I don't know why.
mean, I don't know about you guys, but as soon as Materia goes live, I'm moving there to get my season 1 coat because they're gonna hand it out. This is confirmed, by the way.
What?
Yeah, this is confirmed.
If you want free PvP rewards, go to the
Go to Materia, bro.
Oceanic data center.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I have no clue what you're talking about.
You don't know what Materia is?
I know what Materia is. Yeah, I do. But
okay, that's the data center. Yeah, man. So they haven't actually had the feast on Materia. Therefore, anybody that moves there, that's going to be their incentive. It's a joke.
I have no clue about like. Jesus Christ, man!
I'm gonna cancel you again, bro.
Go ahead. All these little like inside jokes I don't know about. Jesus Christ, man.
Okay, well, anyway, on a more serious note,
yeah,
I do think that they found the juice when it comes to the actual like the participation motivation for players to want to keep actually grinding in the PvP, and at the same time perhaps even looking into ranked as a means of, okay, I can do better than this. I'm going to prove that I can do better than this. Therefore, I'm going to join, I'm going to join the season, and I got my battle pass, my series rewards are all maxed out. I'm good for the next series or whatever. Therefore, now it's a, organic step for me to jump into the season. However, the one thing that I don't know if they really touched much on is how will series rewards differ from season rewards? Right.
I mean, they didn't. Yeah, we won't know until they have more foundation for this information, which will be sometime in right after they release 6.05, and they're trying to hype us up for the next patch. That's when we'll know.
There's probably a few ways they can do it. So they've already mentioned like mounts and titles and armor as like being rewards for PvP going forward. So they can either have like the big reward, like a mount or an armor set. They can have it be for series, so it's accessible to almost everyone, or they can have it be like the big reward for ranked, where it's more exclusive, and then they can have series be stuff like titles or whatever, and then they can have ranked be the other thing. Basically, they can have a big reward and like a small, less prestigious award, but it's still an award. And they can either have it be for casual, have the big one, or ranked, have the big one, and then the other one will have the small one. That's what I'm thinking, at least.
Man, I just got like 20 damn images from Simon here, and I'm trying to fucking parse through this shit.
Just burger him. Just burger him.
Burger him.
Anyway.
Images of what exactly?
Oh, you don't want to know. No, he's giving me images of the screen caps of the presentation that we were given. But it's so like just random. I'm trying to make sure I don't know if he's duplicated some of that. Whatever, fuck it. I'm gonna show these on screen here in a second. Let's talk about one. We know people are going to be into this. All right, so we've hit that a lot. We know people are going to probably want to do this. This system's probably better overall. How do you feel? And thank you, by the way, Simon, for even doing that. I'm just giving you shit. It really is awesome that you went and helped me get these screenshots. But how do you feel about Feast being gone?
I mean, I'm sad it's going to go. I think Feast is awesome, but I think it's kind of had its time in the sun, and the new mode looks fun enough to play.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest issue with Feast, and we've been saying this for years, is that the player base just isn't good enough to make it work. How it should work. It's designed for all 8 players being good, and in the solo queue environment, you just can't expect that anymore. It's people just. They can't divide by 2. They can't attack people on a 5-second countdown. Just get rid of it.
Yeah. I mean, is everybody feeling that same way? Plus?
I think it's time. The game mode has been out for too long. We're at literally almost the 6-year mark. In fact, we are going to hit the 6-year mark because preseason will be around until 6.1. So like 6 years of this, and the fact that it just never really took off, I think, the way that Square Enix wanted it to. I think FRC, like the Feast Regional Championship, was awesome. But even then, I don't think the participation was as high as they wanted it to be as well. And for like a big tournament like that, I think not to have the participation maybe that they wanted there to be, not the competition, because the competition was phenomenal, right? Like we had incredible teams. The skill level was like out the wazoo. You know what I'm saying? Like it was really, really competitive, but still there wasn't really, the level of participation maybe from the mid-tier teams was not really there, or like from the more beginner or like the rookie teams was not really there. So I think it is time to give it another shot, come out with a new mode, new PvP system, new combat system, get rid of role restrictions, which I think is actually could be a really good thing if they're going to do what we are expecting them to do. Just to give each class its own class identity, not to have healers be mandatory. Healing in this game, healing in PvP has always been a role that like very few to nobody wants to do. Like so many times you just join in a frontlines game, your entire team is like machinists, which like machinist bard and like one warrior, or like you know, it's just I think they did do their homework and looked at the level of participation, what people were playing, what people wanted to be doing, what people didn't want to be doing, and they tried to create a new mode and a new gameplay system to revolve around fixing those weak points. And from what they've shown so far, it seems really, really promising. But again, we won't really know for certain until we see the combat system. That's the one thing that is going to make or break this new mode. Like if the combat system is not fun, or it's not engaging, or it's, you know, it doesn't feel responsive enough or whatever, because that's usually an issue people have with PvP in this game, is like they don't like the net code, they don't like how it takes so long to power chug your 3 medical kits because you have to weave them in between your GCDs. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. I mean, hopefully they took all that into consideration, because there is a lot of phenomenal feedback about PvP in this game. Like people have been writing feedback for years on the combat system, the reward system, the game modes ideas, like the capture the flag, or just all these interesting things. And we haven't actually seen them implement any of that feedback until now. Because they actually implemented a lot of what people were requesting with this new game mode and with everything that they announced.
So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like you're right. People are tired of Feast in general. But look at this. Look at this. This is kind of a little bit of a tangent from that, but I can't get over this. What map they used for the background of the Feast. The one map that was so bad choice that they had to completely change it entirely. And so I don't know if there's some subtle hint that like we're supposed to get in the background of this, is like saying the Feast is defined by the failure of this map. It's like side by side. I mean, I don't know how. When they think of Feast, why did they pick this outdated map? Where did they even get this image file from? Can you think about that?
Maybe. I mean, it could have just been a situation where the person making the slides, you know, didn't have that much knowledge of the Feast, or what was the current map or the previous map. Who knows?
Honestly, season 7 was awesome in hindsight. Like for that just to be a one-off season,
it was such a wacky season, man. It was. I mean,
It was a completely different game mode. It wasn't even Feast at that point.
It was refreshing, I will say that.
For people who don't know, so back before the huge downfall that I get, it's not a downfall, just, you know, where we had two maps. We had the Feasting Grounds and we had Lycanweed. And then they said, hey, we want Feast to be an esports. An esport in some way, right? And so they wanted one that had Moogles on it and Chocobos, and they wanted this new map to fit this new mode that they're kind of trying to do, and what they envisioned would be great for like showing on stage. And so they made this circle map where walls kind of came up, sort of, there's a few patterns of walls to work with, and there's no bases. You died, and when you died, you rezzed where you died, right? And so people could kind of sort of farm you in a weird way. It was such a goofy, clunky situation, and there's so much community fight back, or like fighting against this map, that they completely changed it into the map we have today.
Yep.
And
this map also led to a really degenerate play style where you would get a lead, and since there's no bases, there's no like your side of the map or the enemy side of the map, and so when you got a lead and like a minute and a half was remaining, you would just kite. You would just run around in a circle away from the enemy team, and they couldn't catch you because there's no end to the map for you to like corner yourself into. And so you would literally just kite around the map in a circle for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and then you would win the game because they can't catch you.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So when I saw this, I was like, what the fuck? If they're showing this map, are they going to do new things for Feast? And then they put the first point on here, which was the Feast will be unavailable as of patch 6.1. There is a different side of this to think about, is that Feast will still exist between 6.0 and 6.1. But it's not going to be ranked mode, it's just going to be preseason play, mess around, and have fun with, right?
I think this is pretty much an announcement to get your achievements right now. Before they're gone.
Shit. Is that what we should do? Should we make events, achievement events for people?
I mean, since it's literally just training mode, I mean, who cares at that point? Yeah. Go for it. If you want to get your achievements now before they're gone.
Yeah, no, that could be it. So maybe that's what it is. The next thing that I focus on is creating achievement events for people to kind of go in there and get their achievements and do what they need to do. But what's also really interesting about this, do you think that they're going to have Reaper and Sage?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have to make PvP actions for one patch? Do you think they're going to
No, I'll tell you what I think they're going to do. I think the reason why they're going to build Sage and Reaper into the current system is to give more time for the current system, for the current content, like the front lines, the rival wings modes, to transition to the new combat system. So they're going to build them into like this stepping stone gameplay combat system until they can implement the no roll restriction gameplay into rival wings and front lines.
So you think they're doing it for front lines and everything else is going to be kind of in the background before they do a new system? Okay.
100%.
All right, I can kind of see that. Do you think it's going to be balanced in any way, shape, or form?
Probably not for Feast. Okay. Front lines is already kind of not really balanced. Like there are definite jobs that are much stronger in front lines and rival wings than others anyway, so I don't think it's really like a big deal. But yeah, I think for Feast it's probably not going to be very balanced. They're either going to be like too strong or like not strong enough.
Yeah.
But I am wondering what other adjustments they will make to the current system, right? Because obviously with the new expansion, new jobs have new abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder how much different the current jobs also will feel in 6.0 compared to now, at least just for this preseason and also for front lines and rival wings.
Well, for front lines or for Feast overall, it's not going to feel any different because when they level up, they don't nothing changes in Feast, right? Nothing changes for PvP. They're
Yeah.
still level 30 with the same abilities, unless if they add a new ability for every single one. But I don't think they will.
Honestly, I'm of the opinion they're going to launch Endwalker with the PvP mode they have intended for Crystal Conflict. They're gonna launch with the PvP mode they intend for it. I think Endwalker is going to bring like the entire PvP kit rework for every single job, and so that preseason of Feast is just going to be completely unbalanced because there's not going to be like the role molds that we.
You think they're going to give you new abilities based on the new?
Oh yeah,
I don't think.
I think our kits are going to be what they intend for Crystal Conflict.
No way.
No
way.
They did say though that they are going to show the gameplay and the individual job mechanics later before it's announced.
Yeah, sometime in
before it's
January or
released.
February they'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to do another live letter specifically showing the new gameplay.
Yeah.
It would have been cool though if they did have it ready at launch, but
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I guess we'll see. We only have a month really to wait to see if we're going to get huge changes or not to the PvP kit. I feel like it would make sense to launch the changes right at the start so you can play with them in front lines. No one's going to play Rival Wings. You can play them in the front lines and then you can learn how they sort of, work. And then when Crystal Conflict comes out, you kind of already have an idea of how to play some of these jobs and you can go in there a little more informed than
I don't
brand
think
new
so.
game mode and brand new PvP kits.
I don't think they're making a single change until we hit 6.1.
You really think so? Because, like, what would be the point of making a PvP kit for Reaper and a PvP kit for Sage to then just have to completely change it a couple months down the line? Now,
they've literally done that, though, sir.
They did that for Shadowbringers, but that was because the first iteration of Shadowbringers PvP, you could tell immediately didn't work. It was there was really cool ideas, but it was so bad. It was so unbalanced.
Yeah.
And they had to just completely overhaul it in like a fucking express Uber delivery of like a PvP changes. And honestly, they did a pretty good job of it.
Right.
The turnaround from the first initial version of PvP in Shadowbringers to then the revamped version in 5.1, they did a really good job at that. And you can tell that was like an emergency sort of thing they had to do. So I think they're going to avoid wanting to do that, and they're going to launch with what they intend. Hopefully.
I just think like this interim combat system, which is essentially just the one that they're using now, just expanded probably a little bit. It's not going to be for 2 months. Like it's gonna live on in front lines and rival wings for maybe even like 9 months after, because they did say that they do need time to port over the existing content into the new PvP system. So that's why I think that they're creating this interim solution for now and taking the time to integrate Sage and Reaper into the current system. But that's just my interpretation based on everything they've said so far.
I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think whatever they decide to do, the words preseason, the word preseason, I think that's kind of like their Kevlar vest. Whatever happens. They're gonna fuck around as much as they want. It doesn't matter because it's preseason. Their application towards the current modes, which is frontlines and rival wings, I think they'll just YOLO it. They, you know what I mean, like Reaper and Sage. I think they'll have very basic kind of kits for them. Actually, I'm not even sure if they'll introduce that because it might be kind of quick to EXP. I don't know. I'm just talking on me bum. But I do think for Feast everything's going to remain the same. Everything's going to stay the same. If they change anything, I'm going to be surprised. I'm hopeful that we get quote unquote the new kits, but I don't think we will. Because they did mention for Reaper and Sage that the Hellhound weapons are in production.
Did they say that?
They did.
Yeah, it's on the reward page right now.
What?
Yeah, if you go to the Feast reward page and look at the Hellhound.
Oh, yeah. I'll look at that in a second. Hold on. I wanted to bring up one point here. I'm going to try something here. By the way, Plus said he'll be back in a second. So that's why I turned into a little tiny circle. but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna see if this works and makes the stream look cool. Yeah, look at that. All right, so there's one point I wanna make here on this slide, and it's at the very end. You know, getting done with the feast conversation here. At the very end here, skill-based matchmaking. Now, and this kind of goes in line with feast right now because they have a system for skill-based matchmaking, right?
Do they?
I mean, this is their system.
I'm joking.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about this? What do you think they're going to do? How are they going to make a system different than what they have right now that will offer skill-based matchmaking?
So a diamond match right now is I don't know I don't have to talk about this. Like, we have matchmaking right now, and it's like it works in the sense that, like, when you get a pop, people know what to do. People know they need to burst on, the countdown. People know they need to use their CC. But in reality, at a diamond platinum level, the skill level is just so varied. I mean, because you have the people that are really good and they climbed to diamond with a really good win rate and they're really strong players, and then you have the dog shit players who climb the platinum with a 35% win rate, and they got their fucking AK-47. They're terrorizing your queue. And they're basically, you have the good players intermixed with the players that spam the queue and abuse how the rating system works, and they climb to a part where they don't belong, but the rating system can't drop them low enough to where they get out of your queue.
Can I translate?
Yeah, translate. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So currently the system promotes more of a spam style of gameplay rather than it's more quantity than quality. And at the same time, the tiers that we're placed in, right? For those unaware, it's unranked, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. The game, in our opinion, basically begins when you're in diamond. Everything prior to diamond, in theory, should be construed as training for diamond. Okay. However, you can reach platinum. I think Suhr mentioned a percentage, but it's in the 30s. You can reach platinum with a 30-ish% win rate just by spamming, just going ham, getting lucky, whatever, what have you. And at the same time, once you do, you can get matched up with people that are going for rank 1, top 10, things like that. So imagine you just hit platinum at 1500 rating. You're with Suhr, who has like 3000 rating.
Yeah.
And you just, he's a tank and he wants you to phantom dart when he stuns. You don't know how to do that because you've never had to do that. Oh, I guess the cops are for me here. Like,
yeah, Suhr messed up. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro.
It's okay, man.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it comes down to is hopefully the skill-based matchmaking is a bit tighter when it comes to tiers. Because currently the tiers are a little bit too easy to achieve outside of diamond. Even diamond to some extent, like the beginning of diamond is a little bit like, okay, you got here with less than 50% win rate, and we don't really think you should be here. So I mean, yeah, that's basically the terrorist that he's referring to.
Yeah.
So we would love if it was a quality over quantity type of kill-based matchmaking. Whether that involves, like if we compare to the current iteration of adding another tier past diamond, maybe that's what needs to happen, like a grandmaster, something like that.
Yeah. Okay, grandmaster. I just, man, I don't. If they, so by the way, I do think our system right now could work if there were enough players, right?
Depends.
I don't know. I feel like if we had, thousands of people queuing, the system could at least maybe work. Because people would go up and down, and you wouldn't always be based against the same people. I don't know. Maybe not.
You could also argue if we had more players, then there's just more bad players that are just going to inflate each other's ratings because none of them are good enough to actually knock people down and keep them down.
Yeah.
As long as you can climb with a sub 50% win rate, that's not good. You for those unaware, you gain a lot more than you lose, right?
Until you hit diamond.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think I gained like plus 19, and then I lost like minus 30 in the next match in diamond. So something like that might be a little bit scary, but might be necessary.
Or maybe just make the point like the point scaling more punishing at lower ratings, at least earlier. Maybe instead of gaining 25 in gold and only losing 15, you're not going to gain 25 and lose 20 in gold. Just so, people who are climbing with 30%, 40% bad win rates, who shouldn't be in a diamond match, can't get to a diamond match and ruin it for the players that are there and deserve to be. But then again, if that happens and you have a low player base, then now all of a sudden diamond players can't get a match at all. And so there's definitely a balancing that has to be done there. But you can only do so much before it comes down to just saying the player base just needs to get better. That's really what it comes down
should
to
it really be a situation to where, you start having an even win-loss at gold? Right? So if you win, you get 25. You lose, you get 25. And then people just start separating naturally all the way through platinum and diamond.
Ideally, yeah. I think gold right now isn't meant to be like a middle place like rating system for people. I think gold right now is just only exists so it can pop higher end matches for platinum to get to diamond, and it can pop lower end matches for silver to rank up.
Yeah. I feel like at this point, platinum's the middle ground. Because if you play enough, you will definitely get to platinum. Not right now, of course. There are some players I know who are phenomenal players, and they started too late in the season. They're stuck in gold. They've been stuck in gold for weeks because they're literally in queue. They actually know someone, Frosty, who hit the limit of the duty finder timer, like the time in queue. Apparently there's a limit, and it's like 999 minutes and 50 seconds, and after that it just does not go up anymore.
Oh, okay. All right.
And you reach that.
How do you stay logged in for that long?
HUD layout.
That is a good question. I have no idea.
Open up your HUD layout, or speak to your retainer or something like that.
Oh, okay. And naturally, right? When you're sleeping, I'm sure you could do that too. All right.
Oh, it's 999.59.
Okay.
So it just can't reach 1,000 minutes. Just sits there. Kind of sad.
Well, Feast is gone. Whatever. New rank mode. Hopefully they do it in a way that we're happy with. I don't know. They're gonna have to figure out something. And I think it's also gonna have to be based on how many people are actually playing. Right. If you have tons of people playing, I think it's easier to do the skill-based ranking, skill-based matchmaking, and all that stuff. But if you don't have a lot of people playing, it does get very difficult. But it does also tend to lean towards, hey, maybe you should play late at night when there's less people, and then if you get on a groove, you can just farm it out. If you play during the day, it's going to be completely random all throughout the day. But
I'm a fan of playing around 5 or 6 a.m.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Top feaster here.
That's when I get my gains. I just wait for Suhr to go to sleep and
Oh yeah, that's going to be so great when you're playing and then you're like, "Oh man, it doesn't matter if this guy's playing or not because he could be on my team even if we're playing the same role." There's going to be
actually the only issue is they said I wouldn't say this is an issue. This is actually a good thing, but it might be an issue in terms of like dodging, win trading, stuff like that, is that they said you cannot have two of the same job on the same team. So it's only one job per team. So technically, if you want to go against a specific player and there's not that many people in queue, you can just queue the exact job that they're queuing as.
Thank God.
Is that what they said?
Yeah. You cannot have you cannot have two of the same job.
Yeah, so like you
team.
can't have two warriors on the same team.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no role restrictions, but there's still job restrictions.
Yeah.
I guess that'll work out fine. I guess, yeah. You would find which one to the other guy's playing, and then you would just do that. So hopefully there's more than 10 people queuing up. I don't know.
Hopefully. What did you? Sorry, because I was gone for a moment. Did you ask what Suhr and Mateo actually just thought in general of whether there should be a ranked mode?
No. I asked them how they expect them to make a skill-based ranking system or a skill-based matchmaking system.
Because I personally feel like they didn't need to do a ranked queue again or a leaderboard again. I think actually I would have been perfectly fine with just the series or the battle pass type system. I actually don't know how I feel about a ranked mode continuing just based on how it was handled in the past.
There has to be a ranked mode, dude. There has to be a ranked mode.
Yeah.
But there has to be moderation to go along with it, or else the
they
rankings
didn't
don't
mention
mean
that.
anything.
You're right. They didn't mention anything about it. I thought that they might mention, how they feel, why the failures of Feast, like they'd go into that, but they didn't mention any of that.
Yeah, because that's a huge issue, not just for us, not just for the people playing it, but literally just for the perception of the game mode, because that's a huge part of it. Like a lot of people don't even want to play Feast or don't even want to play PvP because they're like, oh, it's just a bunch of win traders. Oh, it's just a bunch of cheaters.
It's a bunch as in like there's a group of 5 people out there being shitty and or whatever, 5-10 people overall.
Some people are under the assumption or the perception or whatever that everybody win trades to get to the top 100, or everyone win trades, or the majority win trade to get the top 100 reward. So, which, obviously is not true. But if this new mode comes out and they're still not on top of moderating it and, taking care of players who are exploiting the matchmaking, the system, the leaderboards, win trading, boosting, whatever you want to call it, that perception will live on. And that's not a good thing. And that will 100% hurt the participation in the game mode.
How would you feel about they're going to have to put some automatic rules in there to limit the amount of moderation they have to do. And also, I'm looking, by the way, you guys are completely right. I was an idiot earlier. I'm going to do a transition here and show this screen. But the crystal does literally move on the map. You're right. You can see it there kind of circled and moving halfway through the line.
I didn't actually notice that either.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Teleport between the little circles on the ground.
Yeah, no. So it's literally a payload. It's literally a payload, and that's pretty crazy.
So I'm wondering, like, how is moving that gonna work? Like, do you need to just mob up on top of it? And
probably you just all stand on top of it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I do wonder if it's like, because technically the mode could be kill focused if, for example, to move the payload, you have to clear any enemies standing inside it. You get what I'm saying? Or like standing within the perimeter that
they already have and we're going off on a small tangent because there is something I wanted to finish up with the ranking stuff. But just to let you know, you guys know this, there's a mechanic in the system that allows you, depending on how many people are standing next to a base or something, it goes up at a different speed, or if there's more people from the other team, your ownership of that spot, that base, goes up higher, right? Like in whatever it's called, I can't remember what front lines are called. Secure.
Rival Wings has it too, and the train in the middle.
Yeah, and
Right.
so there is that, and so likely it's going to be whoever is standing, the most people standing there, it's going to go up, and the goal is to kill at least one person. If you have 5 people standing there and none of the other team, it's going to go real fast. If you have four people and one person from your team, it goes a little bit slower, and so on.
Yeah.
But then that brings up an issue where it's like, what if you have a ranged heavy team? You know, what if your team is a bard, machinist, black mage, you know, white mage?
I mean, maybe that's part of like the balancing and figuring it out, right?
Yeah.
How many people?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna. If you have all melee, you're just gonna get zapped by their range. Like your melee has to get away from the crystal to go attack the ranged, right? They could sit there and just pick you off, and then eventually run up to it. So I mean, that's probably gonna be part of the strategy too.
Yeah, good point.
But
I just wonder, it's like, you know, if it's based on who is closest to the crystal and how many people are close to the crystal, this is going to be an AoE mosh pit. You know, there's got to be some sort of push and pull around the objective, I think, to, you know, reward people positioning well, reward people for.
I mean, and that's a risk, dude. Like, if you have 3 people on your side, you'll have your summoner over there blowing them up. And so you're like, how many people do we put next to the crystal? I mean, I think that it will work out and there'll be strategies for it. And I think that will be fun. But real quick, we'll go back into this mode and talk about it a little bit more. With the, I'm going to take this off and go back to the screen because I just wanted to show that because I wanted to call myself out for being an idiot. With the...
You're not an idiot.
I am, dude. I am. And I appreciate people saying I'm not an idiot, but I'm stupid as shit. But when we talk about the people playing alts, right? And ways that we can kind of mitigate all this cheese on the leaderboard and trying to make it work out and everything else. And how do you feel about you're only allowed to have one character per account? I mean, you can't fucking control multiple accounts, but per account, you can only have one character that can play in a ranked mode anywhere.
Bad.
You don't like that at all?
I think
I like having people guild.
I think one per data center would be fine. I do wonder as well with the potential data center travel whenever that's ready.
Mm-hmm.
I assume if you're visiting another data center, like if you're on Aether and you want to visit Crystal, I think the ranked crystal capture, what is it?
You know what it is. Come on, how do you not remember the word conflict?
I don't know. It's just, okay. Crystal conflict. I think ranked crystal conflict will be disabled when you're visiting another data center, whenever that comes out.
Well, I mean, the thing I'm concerned about, you can't make it to where only one of your characters matter, but you can play all the characters and everything. But if you could make, if the same 100 people can go and jump around and get the top 100 in all the data centers, it would kind of suck if they could just make a character. And I mean, it kind of happens now. You make a character on Crystal, you make one on Aether, you make one on Primal, and then you get rank 100 on all of those. Then you're pushing down pushing down one spot for 3 data centers. And that feels a little crummy, but I think a good counteraction to that would just be simply making the mode and the ranking by data center, and then you could only play, like you're saying, one character per data center overall.
That'd be fine.
If they don't do that, then I think what they should do, even though this may limit the participation, which actually it shouldn't really matter in the ranked mode, but I think to queue ranked, some sort of requirement, like maybe you have to be max level or you have to have played a certain number of matches or something like that. Because right now it's so easy to just make an alt. You don't even have to level it up. You know, right now there's like a sale going for the job boosts, you know, and the game and the base game, because you only need the base game, you know, you don't need any expansions to play PvP. It's so easy just to make an alt, and unfortunately some people do this. They just make an alt, spend like $20, $30, and just use that to like grief people in the rated queue.
Yeah.
And we've seen it happen like almost every single season just because it's so easy to do. But if it was, let's say, you had to be max level, you had to be level 80, you had to be level 90, whatever, that's a big deterrence, right? Because then they have to invest that much more time just to play. And like just to and I'm not saying you have to be max level to queue all the PvP modes. I'm saying specifically for ranked, just to do something to prevent that from happening. You get what I'm saying?
That's not a bad idea. If it was ranked only, I can see that.
Ranked only, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another thing also is we don't know what the cutoff for like the rating will be. We don't know if it's going to be a top 100. We don't know. It could be a top 250 or whatever. And that plays a lot into a lot of the anxiety that comes with ranking in Feast, and will happen with Crystal Conflict. So depending on if it's a top 100 or not, or if it's way higher,
it's probably going to be like top 500 if they do a whole data center.
Yeah, honestly, like
Do it.
just do it, because top 100 is not hard to get for any of us. It's more of a commitment thing than a skill thing, I think, for a lot of people, especially on the NA data centers. But if they can just make it trivial, top 500, whatever, there's no reason ever for anyone to complain that it's impossible to get now. There's just no excuse anymore.
Yeah.
See, my only issue, I love the idea. I think that's actually perfect. So I want to preface that. My only issue is if they do go forward with the system, they need to give a really, really good reason for players to actually want to participate in ranked. There needs to be a really good carrot, because otherwise,
the rewards. I mean, it's literally going to be the rewards.
Yeah. I know exactly. So I mean, the series needs to differentiate from the season. So if the only way you can enter the season, which is the rank mode, is by being close to or max level PvP rank or what have you, there needs to be really, really good incentive, because otherwise we'll be pretty much barren. Do you know what I'm saying? It will be dead. Nobody will play rank because of these. Because right now Feast is so accessible. It's too accessible. It's too prone to everything that Plus One and Suhr mentioned. So I do hope if they do go with this sort of system, which is amazing, it's a great idea. Plus, they do think of contingencies, right? Like, okay, you want to go into rank, you got to do this, this, and this. However, we're going to reward you really well. Like, it's going to be fun. You're going to get some cool stuff. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think, again, if we're right about this, that we're going to have so many people who are playing the casual mode to farm series points, that they're going to be so comfortable going into rank that they will eventually want to do rank, because they will get more overall out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think, go ahead.
And they'll feel more emboldened to go into rank, because if the ranked reward doesn't seem impossible to get for an average player from on the outside, they'll be more willing to go into it and try and learn how to play the mode, at least to a somewhat competitive level, which is what ranked will require.
They're going to learn in casual.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so they'll know how the mode works, and they're not going to just jump into a mode they don't understand and be nervous and get mad and post on Reddit afterwards. So
that's still going to happen, let's be honest.
Okay, all right. I'm going to transition back to this mode so we can talk about the mode itself a little bit here. And I feel bad for people who are listening to this audio only, because they're not getting any visual and they're just hearing this big whoosh, but here we go. There's the whoosh. All right. So looking at this, let me pull it over here so I can see it. There's going to be a crystal that we move here, right? The cool thing about the base, by the way, is that you can't go back into it once you jump out. But I guess the other thing is you can't kill people standing in their base. But I guess it doesn't matter, because your focus is always going to be in the middle of the map away from the base, right?
Yeah.
Bases are pointless outside of spawning.
It looks like the road you progress the crystal on is pretty far away from where you actually spawn in your base. So you're going to be forced to go out there to actually fight people.
Technically, the team's really strong. This would be super BM, but you could have one player moving the crystal and then the 4 people camping them at spawn.
I guess that's a thing that could happen, right?
They'll probably have spawn immunity, but I mean, if they don't know any better, to like run past the people spawn camping them. Yeah. Oh, I can actually see that happening, dude. You just
know what I'm
stomp
saying?
someone so hard you just push them into their base they can't leave.
Oh my god.
Well, the problem with that will be that the match overall will probably take longer because it probably will go faster with more people standing near the crystal.
Yeah. Either that, or they might make it where you have to have like, who knows? You might have to have the entire team. You know, like in those
maybe you have to have 5 people on the team, yeah.
Where you have to have like 3 people stand in the circle for it to like unlock.
Oh, good point.
It might be something like that.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. I hope they implement that.
Yeah.
The first thing that popped into my mind, if you guys see where the large blue arrow is,
Yeah.
exactly where it is, right? And then kind of like where it's pointing the parallel of that, it made me think of like, okay, you're gonna have the range probably like stand there, and you're gonna have them like pick off the melees who are like on the crystal. Maybe interesting.
Yeah,
but maybe
Austin,
if you
that...
go ahead.
I was just saying, can you pull up that other map? It was like the darker one, where it was more of like the player point of view looking at the crystal.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna whoosh again. Whooshing. So there we go. Let me pull it up. You said the player point of view of the crystal?
Yeah, it's like from a player's height rather than like a top-down view like this one.
I can do it. Yeah, on a different map, I think we have something like that.
Yes. Yeah. It was a different.
Was it the?
It was really
Liking Weed 2 one? Let me try to go to it.
Yeah. It was like
See a Clouds one.
Like that one?
Yeah.
Well, you won't see. Yeah, we'll see it.
Let me see.
Oh man, that delay's long. If you guys haven't seen it yet.
No.
Okay, there it is. Yes, yeah, that one.
Okay.
So this one I think is kind of interesting just to look at, for example, like the line of sight points, because it seems like the area that the crystal is moving in, there is like no line of sight. Like you can't really have a battle and be necessarily like hiding behind a wall or but the thing is, it does seem to vary depending on the map, because on the other maps, like the previous one you just showed, like there were way more walls and other things in the way that you could use in combat. But this one, for example, it just looks like a wide open.
Well, you mean, so if we look at this, and I don't have anything to draw on here because I don't have that John Madden thing going right now. But if you look at it, you can see there's like that little pathway behind the wall. So I'm assuming you could like go around and like, do that kind of line of sight. And then there's a little opening that's over there too that you would pop out and just start shooting people and stuff. So I think there's like a lot of kind of goofy strategy stuff that you might be able to do here.
It looks like also where the camera's positioned, like right under us, you're at a higher elevation than where like the track is. And like over to the left
You're in the
there,
base.
and over to the left there you can see like it's an open area that you can like shoot down on, and you're at a higher elevation, so people can't really run up to you and have to go around.
Yeah.
But this map does look like pretty narrow. Like
it looks way different compared to the other ones. Like I don't know if it's that, like on the previous one you just showed with like that top down view. I don't know if that whole area is actually accessible to players, because like that was a pretty wide map compared to the path that the crystal takes. But on this one you can see it's way more focused. So I do wonder, are the maps really just going to be that different, or are part of those areas actually blocked off?
Yeah, I don't know.
This one you can tell. I mean, there's like 3 branching pathways coming out of the base, and then you have the colored area in the middle. That other one looks really narrow. So I'm guessing the maps will be pretty different with their own sort of map gimmick. I bet that other one is going to have like some wind gimmick that can knock you off like the middle. It looks like there's a bridge in the middle of the two bases.
No.
All right, so
windmill and a trebuchet.
Let's talk about the gimmicks on this one though. All right, so we know about the fire one.
Water.
So do you think water is going to be a gimmick here? Like this is going to come across it or something? Like during one of the lanes, through one of the lanes?
I would hope at least one of the maps has like minimal, if not like any gimmicks, and I would hope that would be this one. This one looks like the most standard I could imagine.
This is old Charlian though, right?
Yeah.
So
I actually love this map, by the way. It looks really cool. Like
it doesn't look too bright.
It looks nice
compared to honestly anything compared to Crystal Tower training grounds. is better. And the fact that they showed like 3 maps that all, like, honestly, they all look incredible in comparison. I mean, I didn't have high expectations, so maybe that's part of the reason why I'm so impressed. But
Yeah.
I just think all of these actually
Hold
look
on.
really cool.
I'm trying to get the map. The image sizes are not exactly the same, so I have to resize.
This one's nuts, man. This is like
The volcano.
Yeah.
like, I'm guessing this is the Bomberman map because
This
like
is Bomberman.
yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Is it?
This
Yeah,
one is
no, it kind
crazy.
of looks like it, yeah.
It looks like also the crystal's like in the middle, but it's like north. You know,
Yeah.
like both teams are gonna run up north to fight each other.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
As long as they don't make the same mistake they did with Astragalus. I don't know how you say it. Where one team has a shorter path.
Yeah,
Mm,
this looks pretty symmetrical to the point where I don't think it's gonna
It
be an
does.
issue with
Yeah.
one team getting there before the other.
Mhm. This is
yeah, I don't.
Hell's Gear, I think. Looks like
Hell's Gear?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
no,
that's close. I mean, that's as close as I'll ever get.
Hell's Lit.
Gosh.
Hell's Lit. My bad. What the hell?
Yeah. Oh, Hell's Lit. Okay,
So-
okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to analyze based on this explosion picture, like where I
Power
wonder
up.
which points it will originate from, right? Because I'm sure it'll be multiple points on the map. But I'm wondering based on this one, right? Like and how it will affect the path that the crystal moves through.
I know it kind of looks like a different map, but I don't think this is a different map because the pools of water are kind of the same, and then you have kind of like the molten lava edge here.
Yeah.
So
if you go back to the other picture, you can see it kind
the
of
colors are different, but like you can see like the bottom right has the same kind of pools of water, and then you have the same kind of molten lava stuff that's like at the top, lava rock.
Oh yeah, it's the same. I think the pattern on the stone on the ground also the same.
Yeah, the color is the color is just much darker here. Yeah, it's just like a day and night. But it's so close to being different that like, I mean, it looks like you could totally try to make it pass off as 2 different maps though. I thought it was 2 different maps.
Yeah.
But when we're looking
They
here
look
for where
so
the
good.
explosion is, so if we go back to that other map with the explosion, and then we see the crystals up there at the top, or like I guess the originating crystal would be kind of at the top here. And then we have a base over to the left, and so like from the base, there's like, I don't know, if we play chess, it's a knight's jump, right? It's that little L jump right there. So if we go back to the map where we're kind of at a different view, and we can see the base on the left-hand side, then the L jump, there's like a little gate there. But I don't
see that,
know.
yeah.
I don't know if there's literally anything there. I think that it's just a blank spot where a fire pops up. I don't know if there's any indicator.
Yeah.
You can actually see the 2 bases on this picture.
Yeah, you can see both bases here,
Definitely.
Right.
which are both north. They kind of line up close to where the crystal is, and then you go out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. You can see the pathway of where the crystal goes to, like those elevated, lighter tiles compared to the dark tiles, which is not going to move on.
Someone in the chat actually brought up a really cool point. They said maybe the red atmosphere is just a sign that the Bomberman explosion is imminent.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, the volcano's about to erupt, dude.
Yeah.
And then maybe like a lava rock. Oh, if they do this, like the volcano erupts and then like a lava rock pops out and lands on one of the tiles.
Oh, what the hell?
That would be really good because then that would cause a Bomberman explosion, right?
Yeah.
So that could be good for that kind of mechanic for this. And maybe I can't imagine them doing much more. I'm going to be honest; they can't do much more than one map mechanic thing.
Oh yeah.
But how would they apply that over to windmill map here, right? And so we can only guess that there's going to be wind, but what's the wind going to do? Is it going to push you off the side? Is there going to be a way for you to be pushed off?
So I'm not sure if I can like see very well, but it looks like in the middle there where the crystal is, it looks like it might be a bridge or something with like maybe low wall. Actually, it looks like the walls are there, so maybe not. But I would expect like some like middle objective where there's no walls, that it's kind of vulnerable and like the wind can come in and like knock you off the edge.
There is
might be like a few spots where like the wall is broken, and like if you're not standing in like an appropriate area, the wall won't save you. It'll just literally knock you off the side.
That could be good. I do see also a little interesting. If you follow the path from where we are, the first circle, then goes to the second circle, and just go a little bit to the left, you see there's a little blue platform that kind of elevates up. There's another one that's over by the windmill over there as well. One of the closest windmills. Maybe those are activation spots where you can activate to blow stuff off.
All right, who's gonna be the asshole that's gonna stand on that thing 24/7?
Yeah, maybe.
Wait,
but
unless they're...
there's probably a cooldown on it or something, you know.
I wonder if it's jump points to get to the other floating.
You think he goes to the other float? There's no way.
I mean,
That's
maybe
That would be crazy.
I mean,
I
maybe
can't
there's
forget
like
them,
some objective that you do there, or that someone goes to complete there, and that gives your team some sort of advantage. I don't know.
Or that might be the lodging for the crystal.
No, the crystals are a circle, man. I'm pretty sure the circles are.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
It could,
so-
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't really know kind of how that will function, but I mean that is interesting to think of. And then we're thinking we only got the other two shots of the main looking map, right? I guess we could call it the one that we were introduced to the mode with. That, I mean, maybe no gimmicks at all, but I'm trying to see if there's anything that looks interesting. The most interesting thought about this is that I don't know if this is just for illustration point, but there's a blue and red outline on this map where there's not a blue and red outline on the roads on the other ones. This might be just illustrating where the path of the crystal will go, but I don't know.
It
The
looks
reason
like
I
quite
say
a
that
severe
is-
drop as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like on the side of the map, there's a contrast to the, I guess that's a z-axis, right? Where the grass is, comparative to where the actual pathway is. So, yeah, I don't know.
This kind of looks like they took the feast map and just like revamped it. It's
It does
kind of
look
like
pretty familiar to it.
Elevated it, right?
Yeah.
Like popped it out.
Yeah. So yeah, I have no clue. I don't even see. I mean, you do have those little circle buildings off to the side. Maybe the door opens and water comes out. I don't know.
I would think this is probably just like a vanilla map. I would have no issues with like some of the maps having like a small gimmick and then one of them just having nothing and they just want you to fight.
Right.
Yeah, I can
Looking
see that.
looking at Team A base and Team B base, I hope they're circular, right? I hope inside you can kind of like. I hope you can be like inside and there's like a cool little like lounge area, kind of like where you fight and.
No. No. Go
No,
to
I
old
know.
Charlie and hang out if you want to hang out, loser. All right.
Man.
All right, I'm gonna take us back to our screen. Oh, no transition this time. Apparently, just killed it without a transition. Sorry, guys. But it looks interesting enough. I mean, just thinking about it, it feels like there's more to it than Feast has right now. Feast, when you really boil it down, you're just killing other people, right? There's some sort of metal game to play in it and everything else, but in the end, you're killing other people, right? That's the point of it. This one, the point is to get the crystal to the other side.
Yep. I think also like yeah, Feast boils down to killing other people, but there's so many other like tertiary and secondary things you need to be doing in Feast that it's so unapproachable for a lot of people.
Do people even get boxes anymore, dude?
Exactly. Like you gotta get boxes, you have to divide by 2, then it's like, oh my god, do you round up or down when someone's at 25 medals?
Right. Like I don't know if there's anything inside Feast. I mean, there are things there, but I don't know if anyone even does them or cares about doing them anymore. It's just killing each other. So to me, it always felt like the mode was like super simple. And when they said it was complex, I didn't know how to respond to it, dude. watching it, not knowing anything about it, sure, on the surface level, it seems confusing. But playing it, there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
This one
You know
is
what I
going to
think
have
that-
a shitload to it because you're going to have these specialized LBs for every single job, right?
Yeah.
They're all going to be little heroes in whatever F we're playing now, Overwatch. But it's I'm happy for it. I'm excited for it. I don't know. I can't be sad. There's things that I'm like, kind of goofy, but
Personally, I like the philosophy of easy to understand, difficult to master. I think that should be prevalent.
do you think that's
know
what it's going to be?
I hope so. Because currently, I think Feast is entirely too nuanced. There's like Suhr said, there's tertiary, there's secondary objectives that you kind of need to focus on. And there's just it's too much. It's too much for somebody to grasp. You actually need to study. You actually need to study what happens. Not your tooltips. That's really easy to understand. But there's certain things that you're like, okay, well, I need to know what every single role does in every single job. So there's a lot to comprehend. So I mean, it is not easy to understand. It's also very difficult to master, right? So I hope going forward that they kind of like go with that philosophies. Okay, this is it. You look at it, you understand what to do. Okay. However, the skill expression will still be there. And to me, that's ideal. I believe skill expression is very important. Because you're always going to have quote unquote casual players, and you're always going to have the other side of that. However, if you want to cater to both sides and you leave out the middle, you're making a mistake. So as long as everyone's happy, you know what I mean. That's.
Do you think the community is going to be happy? How's the community responded since last night? Have you guys heard anything from other PvP players and their thoughts?
I haven't really seen anything bad about what got
Yeah.
announced. I mean, PvPers are also so starved for content, and
Yeah.
a lot of them are so jaded with Feast now. It's been such a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Anything new was going to be met with excitement, and this honestly looks like a really good blending of, I feel like there's still elements of Feast in here that are gonna appeal to people like us, and then it's also going to be more approachable to newer players, and so hopefully it's a best of both worlds situation, but we just don't know how it plays. And that's the biggest thing. We don't know how the kits work, and we just got to kind of wait and see. But it seems like the foundation heading into Endwalker is pretty good. So let's hope they can stick with it.
Okay. I think this is probably what they should have done in 4.x.
Oh yeah,
They should have just killed Feast and went into this new mode.
There were rumors that was going to happen, like such a long time ago. Around the FRC time, and then it just never happened. Like people were just kind of waiting. Like, wait a minute, what's going on here, right? And I think a lot of the top players. Sorry, I should not say that. A lot of the active Feast players were just in the dark for so long, and I think everyone kind of came to terms that like the mode's coming to an end, and they've already kind of accepted that. So we're at the point now where people were just excited for any new content, any new mode, any sort of replacement, even though I guess you could consider this a replacement because it does have solo queue. It's still 5v5, whatever. Well, presumably solo queue, right? We actually don't even know if there's going to be pre-made queue, duo queue, anything like that. I do hope that there is, but at the same time, team ranked has not really had a very good success rate so far. No. So, but hopefully, like, official tournaments, all that stuff eventually do.
I hope so too, man. If they do official tournament and they invite me, I'm gonna wear this jersey.
Good, dude.
I still have mine too.
Yeah.
Actually, everyone in here has one. I was watching you yesterday. Tune into your stream, and you were there with the jersey. You had the Feast poster in the background. I was like, "Yo, let's go!"
Yeah, dude. I was ready for anything. I think that's kind of, if we look at the situation, let's say Square Enix actually put some work into it, and they started this moderation, they started everything else, and they were showing us like, hey, look, Feast is like in a good spot for this expansion. They're doing all right, great, and then they announced this. We would be pissed.
Yeah.
That's
honestly, Frosty, that's what happened at like the end of 3.0, was because like people were expecting them, like they weren't expecting a complete overhaul of the 3.0 PvP system into 4.0, like the full PvE toolkit plus some extra abilities, and then literally all of a sudden, like without any prior notice, I think it was within a month of the Stormblood launch, they just said, no, we're scrapping this entire thing. 8-button PvP is the way forward. And people were just like, what just happened? And, it completely caught off guard. A lot of the top players from 3.0 quit because of that. And it was just like, it was such there was definitely a big transition period for that. But I think now, like, as you said, people kind of got the idea that this is going away. Something new is coming. And I think that's why it's like very, very well received, at least from like what I've seen in all the different communities and Discord so far.
Conspiracy theory here. They ignored us the entire expansion. They sucked with moderation. They made us all really jaded and angry at the mode, and the community kind of ate itself a little bit, and fought each other and got this whole nasty thing going on. They intended for that, so they could make a new mode and transition peacefully into this next mode.
I'm fine with it.
I like the cut of your jib.
Okay.
Like based on everything they've showed, like they've clearly put a lot of time and effort into this, like without a doubt. I mean, the fact that they already have, I know it's not that big of a deal compared to like other games, right? But the fact that they have like 3 maps that they showed pretty much ready to go, like that's huge.
I had to change my pants, dude. I basically had to change my pants because I saw more than one map.
Yeah, like I saw that one map and I was like, okay, it looks cool, I guess. But then like they showed the other one, I'm like, whoa, like what is this? I was not expecting it. And then like the volcano and then the Bomberman explosion, and I was like it's just it just honestly kind of blew my mind going into it because I wasn't really expecting that much.
It is way more than we've had in 3 years.
Way more.
That's the biggest thing.
Way more. Honestly, more than we've ever had in terms of like 4v4 like smaller based PvP content.
Agreed. Yeah.
Like what they showed is actually more than everything they've ever introduced for like the Feast and the Fold.
I think it's on par with everything because they have new abilities that's going to happen, distinctive adrenaline kits. Then they have 3 maps.
Yeah.
We've had 3 maps total. We've had our abilities changed.
Yeah.
So
I think the big thing for me is just the reward system and also the whole player card thing that they're doing, which I don't think we talked about.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a little bit. That could be like one of the last things here we talk about.
I actually really want Suhr to start because I know Suhr has been like asking for stuff like this for a really, really, really long time.
Yeah, I don't see like any negative for it. I think having some sort of PvP profile that you can like examine on people's characters is like just something that should have been in the game since the start. And I think
it's not for PvP. It's like PvP's a part of it, but it's like just player cards in general.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. You can introduce rewards for it. I mean, they have like what is it, like Call of Duty like name flares or whatever they were talking about. I mean, there's so much stuff they can do with that. Not just for PvP, but just for like any piece of content in the game. It might be like a little cheesy, but honestly, that's cool. I mean, you can have like if you got Diamond one season, you can have like a diamond flare to your card, or they were talking about how they might display stuff on your card like at the start of a match or at the end of a match. I mean, that's just cool. There's no negative to that, I think.
Can you go to that slide for a second, Frosty? Because
Which one?
The one where they actually speak about the cards.
All right, let me pull that up on screen. I won't do the swoosh. Let's see.
The other thing they said too is you can potentially unlock more customization items through series rewards, which I think is awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. So like maybe new backgrounds or like something. I don't know. It would be or like as Suhr said, like name flares, stuff like that. I think it would
Displayed
actually
before
be
the
really
beginning of a
cool.
match. All right.
No. Listen.
Okay.
These will potentially be used outside of PvP as well, bruh.
Mhm.
If I can have 69 perfect ultimate legend 420 with a sweep emote, and I can sit inside of Idleshire or whatever the fuck, I'm gonna be like, bruh, I'm never gonna log out,
Bruh.
So imagine, all right, so the add on this, it says displayed before a match begins. Does that mean that like when you start the match, it shows you your players and it shows all their profiles? Like it forces you to see. It forces you to go through like the 5 cards of all your teammates before the match starts.
Then you're gonna get into a situation. You zone and you're like, fuck, dude, this guy has no customization on his card. We're doing it. Fuck.
It's got
So-
the beard and pink gear.
And then when they said these potentially will be used outside of PvP, imagine going into a dungeon and then getting that too.
I fucking love it. I love it.
You start the dungeon, it's doing the cutscene, then all of a sudden, play your card! Play your card!
I
Oh.
love it.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I do think it's kind of cool. I don't know. When they add this stuff, I'm thinking, all right, well now they have to put data somewhere, and then they have to call that data, right? And then that's just less inventory space, dude. These are where our belts are going to. Like, maybe that's a good trade though.
Good.
It's funding the new PvP experience.
Yeah. The backgrounds, all I could think of when they said backgrounds was that Final Fantasy VII original background that you could change with the chocobo, the fat chocobo face wallpaper on the background. I don't know if you guys remember that at all, or if you're even old enough to even play that game. Youngsters. But yeah, I thought about that. I thought that would be pretty cool.
Good.
And they're gonna say that you earn these things, which is what's going to be even cooler, is that you'll earn them through PvP, and then maybe you'll get the special background that, like Suhr was saying, was like this sparkly diamond thing that would come up with letters and be like, haha, I'm better than you, right? And that'd be kind of cool.
It's gonna get memed on now.
Yes.
Like, it's such a cool thing, but it's gonna get memed on with like
Probably.
people using like the heart of the party equivalent of like whatever flair for the card will be.
Yeah, I'm okay with it though. I mean,
If
I
they
think
have an option to turn it off, that'd probably be good.
I hope not. They better not be able to turn this shit off. I want to make something that I'm forcing people to actually have to deal with every single map.
Be as obnoxious as possible.
Yeah. And I'm sure, you're going to be in your flexing like subligars or whatever, and people are going to just be like, holy shit, this guy looks like a complete troll, and he just destroys everyone. But
Driving somebody I know very, very well.
what else about this new PvP? I mean, this was a lot. I mean, it was 50 minutes, but it was a lot for us. We know there is a world for us. I think that's the big thing, right? We know we exist somewhere. There's going to be something for us to absorb, because we just want to play fucking PvP. Right?
Yeah, man.
That's the
Right.
We want to play Final Fantasy 14 and we want to play PvP. And there is a world out there that will exist for us, and we're going into a new expansion of PvP. Even though it's like, 5 months away, it's kind of exciting.
It is.
What's really encouraging also is that, this kind of confirmed that they have like a roadmap to support the game mode, like before it's even out. Because that's a big thing with Feast, is that we were always in the dark as to what their plans were for the future. We for a while we knew a new PvP mode was coming, but we had no idea what the commitment towards supporting that mode would be. And so for them to come out and show us, multiple maps, a roadmap for long-term rewards, both casually and for ranked play. Custom match support and stuff. I mean, we're getting almost the entire last 5 years worth of Feast at the start. All the features we've had in Feast at the start with this new mode to then move forward with. And so them also committing, like I said, long-term rewards to support it throughout the entire expansion and moving forward, that's really reassuring. I mean, just with what they showed today, like as a PvPer, I'm already content for probably the entire expansion. Like, obviously I want more, but like, this is more than we've gotten.
Learning the new mode is going to keep us busy through the entire expansion.
Exactly. And then just the introduction of more rewards through series and through seasons. I mean, that's already everything I could have asked for. They showed off everything I could have reasonably expected for this new mode just in one presentation. We got more PvP info in this one presentation that we got through the entirety of Shadowbringers combined in all the live letters. It became a meme that our PvP updates and live letters was just a single bullet point that said PvP update with no information on it. And that became true. And eventually they stopped even giving us that bullet point near the end. They didn't even bother telling us.
They said it. Oh, by the way, right? No, they didn't put a bullet point. Yeah. This is why it's so exciting. Are you at all upset, any of you who have put so much work into being good at Feast and losing that mode? Does that mean anything to you?
Fuck no.
No?
No, what the hell?
Okay.
No.
I mean, I'll miss Feast. I mean, I played it for years. I love Feast, but am I sad that it's going to go away? A little bit, but I think the new mode has a lot of promise. It could be just as good, if not better, if they play their cards right for it.
By the way, plus, I can't look at Discord stuff, just to let you know, because I have to go on my phone to look at the message. Can you Twitter this to me? Do you have Twitter? DM me on Twitter.
Twitter this like DM?
Yeah, DM it to me so I can get that link, because I can't. If I go to your DM, it's just going to show all of our private conversations that I don't think anyone wants to see.
Oh, I see.
I see.
I got you.
Okay, listen up. So I think Feast players in particular have had such a tumultuous relationship with the game mode, with the community, with the development team, that it's been literally, well, I shouldn't say literally, it's been like the weight of the world on Feast players, because not only are we memed right on from some like Tommy go fuck yourself neckbeard on Reddit, pardon me, from like the beginning of the existence of Feast, there's always been some bullshit. All right, it hasn't, like, the good players have never gotten the respect that they deserved. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just been so many misconceptions that are just easier to spout than actually even going into the mode and be like, oh hey, this is actually pretty cool, I want to play. Do you know what I mean? Not only that, and the fact that the patches coincided with the Feast seasons and everything like that, so that was also working against us. So it's almost like we're able to breathe again. It's almost like, okay, we can play a fucking video game that we want to be good at, that we want to enjoy, without all this bullshit kind of like dragging us down. So I think, like Simon said it best. It's like it does suck to see Feast go, but also it's good riddance. I don't think it ever really received the respect that it warranted. You know what I mean? I've personally always thought, it's like it's a two-sided issue, that the player base kind of allowed it to get to where it was, and at the same time the development team allowed to get to where it was. They're both equally guilty, in my opinion. So yeah, that's just a bit of a side tangent, but I just hope that the player base and the development team can treat the new PvP with respect. Resident sleepers and shit, they're funny, man, but you know what, like, let's start off on the right foot.
Yo, Resident sleep this shit.
There it is.
There you go, man.
There it is.
I mean, I did notice during the live letter, like, there were a few Resident sleepers at the start, but then they stopped completely, almost, like, throughout the presentation.
Yeah. So Yeah, I know people actually were excited for it. Like even the people who don't PvP anymore and they have things to complain about. They're like, "Hey, these are things that I said to fix." Yeah, this is good. This is good. So I think that this is going to be pretty awesome overall for everyone.
Yeah.
The people who want to
think
get
so,
into
too.
Feast and the people who love Feast. I do want to ask this though. I want to go ahead and ask this. Do you what are we going to do until this new mode comes out? What's the plans? What's the next steps in the PvP communities and everything else? What can we expect to see?
I guess it depends on what they launch with in Endwalker. If they change all the job kits and stuff, I mean, PvP might be really fun to play around with. If they don't, you have to wait for the new mode. Then I mean, it's going to be business as usual, really. I mean, just doing your front lines and rival wings. If people want to play training modes, go ahead. I mean, it's not any really different from any sort of other preseason, I feel, except that it's just the last one.
I was trying to bait out something from Plus here.
Oh.
Oh,
I caught on.
Well,
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
Wait a minute, Mateo.
What
Do you,
part,
do you
right?
know something that I don't know?
Uh,
Something that may be
Man,
coming
why you
up
putting the
soon?
spotlight on me? Well, I mean, I like how Frosty says it. What's that thing in the middle that spawns at 3 o'clock in the feast, Frosty? It's a heart of some kind.
Oh, the Wolf's Heart?
The wolf's heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to take the steam out of it, Plus, but
Okay.
there's something amazing coming. So I'm gonna just pass it over to you.
You want me to just play?
Just roll it.
All right, here we go.
Roll that shit.
All right, man, that was pretty fucking. I had no clue what I was gonna see there, but holy shit, who the hell made that fucking video?
I made it, man.
Holy
It took
crap.
a very long time to make. But I did it. I did it all by hand.
Hey, how much do I have to pay you for that kind of editing, dude? Like, I'm fucking shit, dude.
Oh,
What program do you use to edit that?
Is that just After
Multiple.
Effects?
Huge.
After Effects, Final Cut, several things. Ableton for the music and the audio. It took a very, very long time.
How long did that take you?
It took like 2.5 weeks.
Amazing.
Fuck.
I really wanted to create. So first of all, the point of this event is just I wanted to create something really special for like all of the Feast players that have kind of stuck through that are still playing today. To create something that's like really, really exciting, high level matches, competitive matches. I'm really blessed to have all these players want to participate because we have like over 30 players, or actually 30 players exactly. All some of the best players like in the world. I mean, we have like Mateo here, we have Suhr playing, we have I mean you guys saw I don't even want to start going down the list because I'm going to forget people. So many incredible players came out, signed up, and really want to play before Feast goes away. Because like once like Sage and Reaper come out, obviously like the meta is going to change, right? And so I really wanted to do something special for this final season 20 Team Light Party. We're going all in, all out. I put a lot of work into this. The stream, the broadcast, everything. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I can't wait. It's going to be next Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/+1.
It's gonna be fucking awesome, dude. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna be happy to be there and commentate on it as well. You know, it's been a while. I mean, I for me, so just to let you know, you just fucking upshowed the fuck out of, you know, whatever I've done. But for me, I was like, you know, I want to do some commentating, so I'm just going to throw some shit together, and every Friday we just kind of dick around with some matches every once in a while. And I was like, oh, that, you know, that'd be cool. And then you have like this fucking fancy, like, dude, do you want to do free work? I'm just saying. Because
I don't know about that.
just saying, I got the world race coming up, man, and we need some editors.
I need to inquire. I think I saw 3 commentators. Both of you had a similar style. However, Rin kind of stood out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good, man. Yeah, Rin was like pretty sharp.
He is sharp, dude.
I gotta ask him.
Let me look at this.
That fit. Pretty good. What do you think, Plus?
I think he looked pretty. I think he looked like he fit the part, Mateo.
Did he record that just for his video?
I was trying.
He did. I didn't tell him to. I just said, look, I need a clip of you. Here's an example of what I made for Frosty and I. And like 2 hours later, he messages me back. Like, so we didn't even respond to that message, right? 2 hours later, he messages me back. He goes, hey, I didn't have a clip, so I just recorded one. And I'm like, oh, okay, that works too.
Absolute legend.
Legend, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. Yeah, no, this is gonna be awesome. And I put 5 million towards this event, so just to let you guys know.
What?
I put 5 million gil towards this event.
Oh, I can pay off my mortgage. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
was about to say I can pay off my mortgage. What the hell?
Oh, dude,
Man.
I wish I could fucking. You know what? You know how fucking big this feast would be if we put 5 million or more dollars on this fucking tournament. Everyone would play.
Keep it.
Oh, holy
Thank you
shit.
for contributing. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
All right. Well, that looks awesome, dude. I'm excited for it. I don't know. We might have some just kind of dick around event before it so people can kind of play and get used to each other. But people might be trying to be secretive about their strategies and stuff. I don't know what people are doing.
Maybe.
Because they want that 100 million gold gil. Do you have the money? I'm just asking you, Plus, do you have that money right now?
I'm mustering it up. Honestly, I'll be completely honest with you. Like all the prizes, like the whole prize situation, I'm just like, I have so much else to do right now. I got to make this trailer. I got to get all the assets ready for the stream. All this stuff. I got to get all the teams organized, the bracket figured out. I'm just like, the rewards. I'm gonna figure that out later. You know what I mean? But it will.
Sponsored by Joji.
Yeah.
Actually, not sponsored. It should be sponsored by Joji. Joji, where you at?
Yeah.
Sponsoring this. Where's he?
All right. Well, that's awesome, dude.
So far, it's looking like it might be out of pocket unless some very thoughtful people may decide to, some generous people may decide to contribute to the prize pool. I would really appreciate it if you do.
Look, if we could get 100 people to donate 1 million gil, we're good. All right. There's more than 100 people that will care about this event. I'm sure. Seriously, people watching this stream right now, if you want to give 1 million to Plus to make this event like be better,
or more,
it would be wonderful. And I know a lot of you guys are really hardcore PvPers who know Plus very well, and you have no problem giving 1 million gil. Just reach out to him. You'll know how to do it. Maybe even give more than 1 million if you like really want to support the event or something. But some of you guys have capped your total amount of money you can hold on your character. I'm sure some of you guys aren't going to have an issue doing that. It's a total of 100 million gil. He has 5 million gil only right now because I'm the only one who's given him anything. But you know, reach out, see if you can help with that prize pool, and then we'll go forward with that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Again, this is November 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It will start, and it will just kind of go throughout that day. I'll be doing MogTalk, I think, I have to change up my entire shows because the game was delayed 2 weeks. But
that's true.
Yeah, I have to change up what show I was doing, so I'm going to have to try to get something together for that week. I think I got something for next weekend. But, you know, I'll be doing MogTalk right before it, then I'll be going on to that event afterwards. If
there's a Paladin show, can you invite me and not Suhr?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that job, dude.
Thank you.
He doesn't know anything about this Paladin. But yeah, no, you guys should definitely be checking out because this is exciting. And it's the last big feast event that we'll probably ever have. So if you guys want to see what that will look like, and we'll probably transition. Plus and I will probably transition some way into the new mode and everything afterwards.
Yeah.
But we gotta send off Feast. It's dying. And we're having this. Oh God, I can't make the comparison I was because it's gonna make me cry. I was gonna say, it's time for it to go, and we gotta do our parting words with it and everything.
Yeah.
And we're gonna try to make a really good event. And then we're also gonna probably have a little bit more of just dicking around before the new mode comes out. But this is the last serious one.
Mm-hmm.
So what else about what's going on in the world of the PvP community as we're moving towards this new mode? Is there anything? Well, event-wise, of course, this is it. But I mean, just are we all just gonna hang out and be like on the benches yelling, waiting for this new mode?
There are a few Discords doing some cool things. I want to give a shout out to Brian Ricardo, who's a great PvP streamer. I think he's in chat right now, but he's one of the staff of this Discord called Revival, and they don't focus as much on Feast, but they do a lot of like cool Frontlines events and Rival Wings events, and they also try to help new people get into PvP. So I'll let Brian post a link to that if people want to check it out. But it's like a huge Discord. Like I think they hit over 25,000 members. It's crazy. Like over 25K. Ridiculous.
Yeah, only 100 of those people need to give a million gil. But anyways, go ahead.
Exactly. But yeah, great community, great people. Brian, Eternal, they do a lot of cool stuff. So if you're interested in like getting into PvP, Frontlines, Rival Wings events, check them out. Cool spot.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of these Discord communities are trying to figure out how they're going to move forward with the new mode. And I mean, they have the structure there already, and they just gotta push into the conflict, push Crystal. We're gonna be like Breaking Bad. Mateo, anything?
So the feast season, for those unaware, was extended inadvertently by 2 weeks. So if I'm not 100% sure if unranked to silver will pop. However, if you're kind of like worried about it, maybe spread the word a little bit, maybe try to get some wolf collars that are apparently going to stick around, right? If you make it to bronze, you're going to get 3 wolf collars, so that's good. Maybe set yourself up with a new expansion. Anyway, just don't be shy, man. Just jump in. That's fun.
Yeah. Okay. Sir?
Yeah, just I don't really know what to say. They kind of said everything. Shout out to Revival PvP Discord. Shout out to PV Paisa Discord. Just shout out to all the Feast players who stuck it through. We're gonna have one final tournament, and then hopefully set this game mode off in the right way, and then look forward to the next one.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with Feast. I mean, we'll just see how that all works out. Except for this new event with Plus, I will be definitely working with that. I know.
I cannot wait. It's gonna be so much fun, man.
I am going to be so excited. I'm sorry, but I'm going to be so excited not to do anything with a stream and just sit there and just talk. That's going to be so much fun.
Because you want me to do everything now, right?
Yeah. It's going to be so great.
What was the name again of the new mode? Was it Crystal Crumpets or something? Like, do you guys remember?
Dude, the name was fine. Bro. Dude.
What was the name?
Stop memeing on it.
Oh my God.
Fucking
I
otter.
Remember. Okay.
I'm not gonna give it to you. I'm not gonna fall and walk into this.
Honestly, I think they could have picked a better name for the mode. Just gonna say.
A crystal capture. Telling you.
It's because it's gonna get
rolls off the tongue.
It's gonna get abbreviated to CC, and then people are gonna confuse it with like Cruise Chaser and
CRC. Someone said in chat. Oh my CRC. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be something weird.
Yeah.
Feast 2, the banquet.
Crycon. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Crystal Conflict Crycon. Yeah, I go with that. We'll do Crycon. because a lot of people are going to be crying. I don't know. Fucking screw it. Anyways, we're ending this show. We've been going for 2.5 hours. We're fucking wrapping this up. So guys, please look forward to that. It's going to be on the channel. And you know what? Since we're doing a shout out to +1, that's the channel it'll be on. Fuck, that's not the right command.
No doubt.
+1. There we go.
Hell yeah.
And then check that out. That's where people can find you for stream. Do you want them to find you anywhere else, Plus? You want to tell them where else they can find you?
They can, if they want to see the trailer on YouTube, they can go to +the1.com.
Dude, this is public now, right? Can I post this link?
Yeah. Or you can just post the video link. That works too.
Yeah.
I also want to get it up on Twitter soon. After this.
Okay. Yeah. After this, well, I just tell them.
Trying to spread the word here because I think it's going to be a lot of fun for people to watch. It'll be a fun time.
Yep.
It'll be like a celebration of sorts,
Yeah.
Getting all these old players, a lot of old players, a lot of new players, or newer players as well. But like we have like a lot of vets coming in playing too that have been playing for years. So gotta whip them back into shape.
Yeah,
for some light party. Yeah.
All right, Mateo, where can people find you, dude? Are they gonna find you anywhere?
Yeah, I'm like a full-time streamer, so right after this, I'm gonna stream.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I think I stream like once a year or something. But if you want, I'm there. xwaxx_. I have a Twitter, xBananaJuicy.
Okay.
Yeah, Banana Juice.
And +the1.com, they can find you there too.
Yeah.
No, Mateo, they can find Mateo there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Plus 2. Suhr as well. He's actually in the video, so technically.
Isn't Suhr the thumbnail?
He
By the
is.
way?
Yeah, he's actually the thumbnail.
Damn,
for
my
this
man
one.
is aged.
This one was Cultic, and now it's Suhr.
Amazing.
Jeez. All right, we're falling apart here, sir. Where can people find you?
I don't have a Twitter, so I only have a Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Wapster, WAPSTER. And you can also find me at +the1.com.
Awesome. All right. I think that does it. I think we covered this really, really well. We're going to have another show. We're going to have a whole nother fucking show after. You know what? After they announce more information and before this new mode comes out, we will probably have another PvP talk.
Let me put it in the calendar real quick.
Yeah, you know exactly the date still be on too.
I swear to God, I'll have a camera by then. I swear to.
Don't fuck with
Otter
me.
Jesus. Otter Jesus.
I'll have my VTuber avatar ready.
Yeah.
I'll have it all rigged up.
No, if it's the same crew, we're all coming on with a cam. No more of this.
You know what? That's the thing.
I literally have this hat.
You can come on. So Mateo, sir, next time you come on, if you don't have your fucking VTuber or camera, I'm just gonna get someone else.
One or the other.
Yeah.
Choice.
All right. So I gotta do my closing bits here. Thank you everybody for coming and watching the show. I do love PvP. PvP's a huge part of everything I've done in Final Fantasy 14. Throughout the years, in some manner, it's probably just as important to me as the world race is to me. But I'm glad we got to actually get some new information, and the outlook looks good. However, the mode is going to come out around the time my baby's going to be born, so I don't know how much time I'm going to be able to dive into it, but I'll be around with what I can. Maybe I'll just be shoutcasting, and that'll be it, but we'll see. I'll try to get into it as much as I can. That being said, thank you, Entre Kane, for the intro and closing music. Thank you, my wife, Kerr, who is pregnant and making sure my baby has a good trip, into the coming into this world. And then thank you very much. I'd say to all the mods, all the viewers, all the Patreon supporters, and everyone else that gives the reason why I do this every single week. Next week, we are changing up the show. I'm not entirely sure what it's going to be about. I have a few ideas, but I need to make sure we have the guests possible for it. And that being said, also, I have a little Patreon video for everyone to watch. Before we end, watch that. Then we're going to host somebody, so stay around for that host, because if you don't want to support other people in the community, that's fine. No, I'm sorry. That's all right, dude. I get it. But no, stick around the whole time. You got to be a viewer for the raid. All right, bye, guys. Everybody wave and say bye. Bye.
Thanks for watching. See you next Saturday,
Yeah.
7 p.m. Eastern.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching the show. You all know PvP is a great and amazing thing to me. And it was very interesting to learn a little bit more about the players' thoughts about PvP. But I do need to go ahead and thank our Patreon supporters here. We have a few organizations that work in the community and support us. One is Awk Morning, a great PvE website for you to check out. Then there is Teamcraft, a great crafting website. And then there's Phase Temperance, a great PvE community that puts on events for the PvE players out there. And then there's just some really awesome people: Dudas Antonio, D Fury, JJ, Little Dude, Megan C, Mr. Dan, Nami, Neurodia, I think, Psyche, and Dirk. All great Patreon supporters who are way too generous and definitely help us do what we can to make MogTalk better. And then, I guess that's it. You all have a wonderful rest of your week. And then thank you to, of course, all the other Patreon supporters, all the other people who support the stream however they can. And until next time, stay frosty.